what's up, peeps? Morning. Morning. Hello. All right, what's up, peeps? Good morning. Mm. All right. Good morning. Hello. Bus stop live check-in. Hello. Good morning. All right, what's up, everybody? It's the bus stop live check-in. We do this every day since October 11th, 2023. I got jacked up by the state police in Bryan Tully, right at my kid's bus stop in case they try to do it again. We'll catch them in the act, but hasn't happened again. Never gonna happen again. Never going up, no, never going to jail. Never gonna be convicted. Not gonna happen. So anyway, yeah, if you guys missed it yesterday, the judge finally got to us on our motion to dismiss. And shocking, I know you're all really shocked by this. It was denied, as if we, you know what I mean? It's just like, of course it was. Like, I have no faith in any judge. Like, it's like I gave up after the Reed case. I gave up on like judges ever, like, doing the right thing or being the bulwark against like, frivolous wastes of time. So he wants to try this. We're gonna try it. Let's go. Let's go. This is the way it has to be. This is the way it has to be. We always, I've come to terms with this a long time ago that we're going to trial. It's basically a done deal at this point. I don't see a way which it doesn't, and that's fine. We're ready to go. This is the way it has to be. This is the way it has to be. So, um, yeah, looking forward to airing this all out in court. Looking forward to winning, being vindicated. This is the ultimate way that this story needed to end. The story didn't end on June 18th, 2025. That was a great day. It was a big win that day, but we're just getting started. We got a long way to go, and let's go. Turtleboy against the world. That's what I say. I don't care, but it's not Turtleboy against the world. It's all you fine people out there who have my back, who understood what we did here and why we did it, and it was all for the greater good. And yeah, we're ready. So, just a reminder: Karen Reed was acquitted because she didn't hit John O'Keefe with a car. Period. And like Melanie Little said, it's like that's the way. That's the truth about what happened. That's the way the story's going to be written. Is that Karen Reed did not hit John O'Keefe with a car. She was framed for a murder she didn't commit. Something called Turtleboy came along, wrote about it, told the truth, exposed an injustice, built a gigantic social movement that made it so the world knew what happened to her and mobilized people from across the world. That's the truth. That you want to know what happened? That's the story. That's what actually happened. So there's no witness intimidation. That was just something they can in an attempt to get Karen Reed was acquitted. Most people would call it a day, but they can't stop. They're gluttons for punishment. They're machados. They got to come back for more. They got to keep getting spanked. And don't, when, one thing about me is, you know, if you want me to keep spanking you, that's not a problem. I'm really good at it. So I don't need to keep spanking you, but if you insist that we got to keep doing that, we got to keep exposing you people. That's what we got to do. And that's what we got to do. Let's fuck. That's what I'm good at. So yeah, um, we're going to trial now. Also, the judge says he issued something saying he wants us to pick. He said basically that the trial is going to be in Suffolk Superior, so it's going to be in his courtroom, and that he needs to know if we want a Norfolk County jury, which is weird to phrase it as if we're like asking for something. Like, actually, I'm entitled to a Norfolk County jury, and I don't even know if I'm legally allowed to have a Suffolk County jury. Like that, I don't even know why that's an option. Like, I wasn't indicted in Suffolk County. Like, can I just pick a jury from anywhere in the state? Can I pick a Worcester County jury? You know, can I pick a Worcester? I don't know. So, anyway, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter where the jury's from, but we'll see. There are, I like, on the one hand, I look at a Suffolk County jury and it's like, well, Michelle Wu and Ayanna Presley were elected from Suffolk County. That's Boston, for those of you who are familiar. Boston, Chelsea, I think Revere. I don't know if Revere's in Suffolk or Middlesex, but I think Revere is Suffolk County. I think. Yeah, I think it's like Revere, Chelsea, Boston, and that might be it. Just might be those three. But um, yeah, and it's like, so those areas. I mean, those are, you're going to get a lot of um, very liberal people, right? A, a lot of people who are. It's a much more diverse jury pool, and I think you're more likely to find people who don't blindly believe the police. I think Norfolk, you're going to find more establishment types. Um, you know, you don't know who's going to get any of your jury if you have a Norfolk County jury. I'm much more popular in Norfolk County, I think, but there's McAlpin. And I was thinking about that today. I'm like, imagine I go to trial and it's like a hung jury. Like, they can't retry that, could they? I mean, that would be wild if they retried it. Like, that would be crazy. A hung jury. We're gonna do this all over again. It's not like with the can't read thing where somebody's like dead, so you need justice. Like, you have to keep going. Like, a Boston police officer's dead. Like, we're not stopping. A Boston police officer's dead. Have to we have to pretend that we give a shit. But with me, it's like you're like, after a trial too, when all these ding dongs have to come out and be like, I'm so scared, me so scared, turtles, me need protection, me intimidated. Oh no, me so scared. Okay, yeah. Anyway, give me one sec. All right. All right. I'm back inside the home I'm not squatting in. See, the thing about homes is if you pay your mortgage, they don't take it from you. It's this crazy thing. And then you don't have to squat. You don't have to have 100-page and 2-hour long story about how, uh, you know, your ex-wife is being a bitch, and you just pay. You just pay your mortgage every month. And it's like, they just leave you alone. It's crazy. I know. But all right. Anyway, let me pull up my computer. Give me one sec. Sweep the leg is right. I was definitely watching some of Jolene today. I couldn't watch it all last night, but she was telling me to sweep the leg. I think she's enjoying. I think she might be enjoying this. Something tells me Jolene might be. I don't know what gave that away, but get rid of that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah, if you guys want to have your messages read out loud, you click the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or click the link at the bottom for Turtle Chat,
or you cash at me $, Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. Can we please say Turtleverse? Suits you more than movement. Turtleverse. This is a Turtleverse. And by the way, the pre-sale tickets are going to go on sale today, so I'm going to send that link to like my special people that want to get cut the line. If you're, I mean, you're all going to get to go if you want, but the pre-sale is on today for the show, and the tickets go on sale to the general public 10 o'clock a.m. Oh, if you guys missed this, okay. I mean, yeah, if you guys didn't see this, so I was while you were gone, I after yesterday, like shortly after yesterday, it was announced that the tickets are on sale. That for like, it was announced where the show is and the date. So if you missed it, the date of our next show is October 30th at 7:30. The venue is the Schubert Theater, which is the Bach Center Schubert Theater. So Ernie Bach has the naming rights to the two theaters that are across the street from each other. There's the Wang Theater, which fits about 3,500 people, and then there's the Schubert Theater, which fits about 1,500 people. He has the naming rights, I guess, to both. I don't think he owns it though, but he's got the naming rights to it. It's like Gillette Stadium, Bach. People like volume. Is the volume really that bad? You guys could just turn it up, I don't know. But people have been saying that about the volume lately. I don't know what's going on. But yes, so the venue is dope, man. Check this out. Yeah, I mean, so I didn't announce this ahead of time because I don't want people like bothering them and, be like, you can't have them. I wanted it like on Ticketmaster before I said anything, So, could we do another show outside of Mass? I might be in trouble in Mass. Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. All right, so yeah, the volume's fine. So anyway, so check this out. So this is the theater. And I'm not even gonna put the volume on because we don't really need volume for this because it'll just echo. Okay, so here it is. Let me first of all look at that setup. So the difference between a big difference between the Wilbur and this place, and by the way, this is directly across the street from the Wilbur Theater in the theater district. So that's pretty cool too, right? And anybody knows Ernie Bach, right? It's like he is a Trump supporter in Massachusetts who's worth like, I don't even know how many $1 million he's worth. Like, I don't want to misstate, but that's the view from like where we will be sitting. And so the Wilbur is like this too. The Wilbur has seats, mezzanine seats and balcony seats. But on the bottom, the Wilbur it's like a comedy club. So there's like high top tables with bar seats, and those are like, and so there's obviously less room when that happens. This is a theater, so like the bottom row is like this, and so there's way more seats on the bottom. Now, the VIP seats, what we're doing, so there's 119 VIP seats because VIP went fast this last time, and so we're gonna do it again. So VIP seats are the 50 orchestra seats, okay, and then the first 6 rows of radio. So these are the VIP seats, and for that you get obviously the best seats in the house, but you also get to come to the meet and greet after the show, take a picture, do all that stuff. We're gonna have some guests there, hopefully. More on that, okay, who we're gonna have, but the show is me. Okay, guys, I can't deal with the volume comments. Then turn it fucking up. Are you all the way? I don't know what to tell you. I'm as loud as I can. I don't know what to do. What are you gonna do? I'm as loud as I can. We get it. Anyway, I guess stop reading the chat. Okay. So as I was saying, yeah, so there's like there'll be 5 levels of tickets. So these ones are the VIP, and for that, you get all that stuff. Okay. And the show is going to be me, Jimmy, and Emily C. You might notice Emily C's not on the promo for it or whatever. That's by her request. Okay. So, she wasn't, not everybody's about, what comes along with this. And she obviously, she's more low profile. She just likes having fun with this and isn't really in this for the harassment. Is in this for the justice and the comedy, I think, and the charts, the color coded charts. She's really good at that. And so it's going to be a fun night. And we've been brainstorming this for a while and coming up with skits. And like, she's so good at stuff like that. Because me and Jim are like two dudes who just kind of wing it, I mean, he's good too. He's creative, but like, she's really organized. And so and she's funny. She stole the show at the last Wilbur. She was hilarious. So we're gonna be like, setting that all up. I can't wait. Okay, for that. I just can't wait, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun. Like some of the stuff that we're coming up with. You know what I was thinking would be cool too, but I don't think we're gonna be able to swing it. I don't know if you've ever been in a class. Like when I was in college, sometimes you'd have or was in like a study. If you were in like a big lecture hall with like 500 people in it or something like that, sometimes you'd have like a clicker in your hand and you can vote. You can like live vote on stuff. It would be so cool to have clickers or something like that where we could poll the audience and stuff like that. And that would be a cool way to interact, but I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. I just don't know how we would swing that because I like audience participation, like audience reaction, stuff like that. And so thank you, ticket prices. So there's gonna be 5 levels of tickets. Okay, last time it was $250 for the VIP. And those went fast. Those were the first to sell. And then it was $99 for mezzanine seats, and some of them on the ground floor, and some of them in the balcony. And there's like 3 rows of $79 seats. Okay, this time we have 5 levels. So you're gonna have the VIP seats are 250, same as last time. You get the meet and greet, all that stuff afterwards. And then these right here, the first 6 rows of this side and the first 6 rows of this side, okay, are 125. And then all the rest of the rows here and in the mezzanine are 99. Okay. In the balcony, the first half of the rows are 89. And then the second half of the rows are 79. So there you go. Last time, like the 79 and $250 tickets went first. But whatever. So they could take a poll right from their phones. I wonder if there's like an app people can download. Oh yeah, no phones. Yeah, we can't do phones. I don't want to do phones because this has to be like, and don't even message me about the streaming. People are like, you should pay-per-view this, stream this. No. Why? So people have an excuse not to go? No, I want people to go. Like, I want this to be an event that you need to see in person. Like, you got to be there. You had to be there. At the Wilbur, people still talk about it. Like, you had to be there. And there's something cool about the fact that there's no video of that show out there from last time. You just had to be there. It's like one of those things. So you got to be there. There's something cool about that. Like, oh, you had to be there. It was like Lincoln was shot. Like, I know what Lincoln got shot at the theater. I didn't see it. You just had to be there. Like, it was crazy. Like, the people that were there were probably like, oh my God, dude, Lincoln got shot. It was crazy. Fucking nuts. Yeah, I was thinking that too. But anyway, yeah, same system towns use. Exactly. Like, like if I go to a town meeting or something like that, people can vote like that. I think in Canton though, they actually counted hands, but anyway, yeah, it was supposed to go in the documentary. That's right. So you'll definitely see some clips from there, but yeah, the prices, I mean, those are theater prices. Like this is not, we're not going to the VFW with Randall. Like we're not doing that. This is the theater. This is the theater district in downtown Boston. Like major performers perform at these places, and that's what it costs. That's a night. It's a night out in Boston. Like expect to spend money. That's just what it costs. You go to a Red Sox game, you're going to spend money. But it's cool. It's fun, and it's going to be legendary. And it's like you go out. Last time people went out around the restaurants around there. Go get dinner at 5:30, get some drinks in you. 6:45, head on over to the theater. The line's starting to form. They let you in. You know, everybody's having fun. Like we could hear the build up last time from backstage. Like people, it was like getting us fired up. And the same thing's gonna happen here. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this show. Right. So here's the rest of the theater. Right. Um, so there's that. I mean, look at that. Look how fucking cool that is. That's so cool. So my VIP seats are gonna be, or not my VIP seats. They asked me how many comp seats I want, and I said 20 this time. And I picked the first row of this one, and then the seats. There's some like seats on the side, presidential seats almost. We're gonna put people there. I want them to be seen. I want my. So this would be this is the mezzanine, right? Look at that. Look at that chandelier. Look at that thing. Ooh, look at that. This theater is over 100 years old. Okay. It was built in, I think, 1908. Was it 1908 or something like that? It's a year in. It feels like a Broadway theater. Like you're in it's like a Broadway style theater, right? And look at that thing. Fancy schmancy. Woo! But there's not a bad seat in those ones. I want to put people in those. I'm like, I want people, special guests in there because I want them to be seen. Look at this. Look at this. Dope. Look at that. Awesome. I mean, you could still see it. Like I remember being up here and being like, I could throw a football from the balcony to something, and someone on stage can catch it. Like it's not far. Like you're like they're right there. You're up high, right? But they're literally right there. Awesome. So there we go. That is the Wilbur Theater, and I mean not the the Schubert Theater. Um, so it's in Connecticut. No, not quite. It's downtown Boston. Downtown Boston. So, it's over 2 months away. So you got time. If you're not from around here, you can book a plane ticket. You can book a hotel room. Just trust me. Make it a night. Like make this a legend. It's the Friday before Halloween. Like how perfect is that? How perfect is that? Like nobody's gonna be trick or treating that night. It's Halloween's on a Saturday, so everyone's gonna have trick or treating Saturday, and it's gonna be legendary, man. Legendary. Cannot wait. You're gonna be telling your kids where you were the night of the Turtleboy Schubert show, and it's gonna be dope, man. How much are VIP tickets, Megan asked? So VIP's 250, just like the Wilbur was. Okay, and then there's 125 seats, kind of right on the sides adjacent to them, and then $99 seats for the rest of the orchestra seating on the bottom, and then the mezzanines are 99, and then 89 for like half of the balcony and 79 for half of the balcony, something like that. So this is the Relapse, and as you can imagine, like the first Wilbur show was cool, and I know a lot of you guys were at the Wilbur show, but I didn't know what I was doing. Like we just kind of threw that together. We did some skits. We had some audio. We didn't even do skits. We had a roast of Turtleboy. We had Nurse Kim came on the stage and we did this whole like thing about what did we do? I forget. We did like Julie Carpenter tweets. Like we were like laughed at bad tweets, and we had responses to them, something like that. We're gonna get a little more creative with this time around because we have more time to plan, and we also have Emily C, which is a huge addition, and it's also a third person, so you can do more like SNL type skits where we play characters and stuff like that, and we do games, and I just cannot wait. The mean tweets segment, that's right, mean tweets. And yes, there will be an after party. You know, I think we'll probably go to the same place because I didn't publicize it last time, but there's no better place to go because it's just you don't have to book anything. It's gigantic. So Yeah, no hood boogers allowed. I don't know. Norfolk County girls. Oh, I need to remake that song. I need to remake that song. I'm just so pumped, man. And the timing of this too, where it's like right before the trial. Like, oh, it's just gets everybody fired up for this. It's kind of like my last hurrah before the trial. And it's obviously a fundraiser because this shit ain't cheap. Um, you'd have to check with the costume stuff. Laura says theaters might not like costumes involving people covering their faces. We're not going to cover our faces. It's going to be like mostly wigs. Like we need to do a forensic room thing. Like we have to, we have to do some shit, man. Like we have to do there's just the possibilities are endless, man. Possibilities are endless. There's going to be so many roasts of various. I mean, this is the relapse. We're calling it the relapse for a reason. We are roasting everyone. Everyone's getting roasted. Like everybody's going to get it in this show, and we're going to have a blast with it. Like I cannot wait. And so yeah, this is absolutely going to help with the legal defense fund, morale, like, and it's just going to be a reminder that like you'll never convict me ever, ever. So, oh, you mean the audience? Okay. Oh, she's talking about the audience. Okay, Bob. Sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, you don't think there's gonna be a Cryford bit skit? Of course there is. Is Cryford gonna come? I don't know. We'll see. He could buy a ticket just like anyone else, and just gonna be the biggest fu. It's just gonna be the biggest fu to the haters. Remember, they said this wasn't gonna happen. They go, I screenshotted many tweets of people who were like, the Wilbur's never gonna happen again. And it's like, probably, you're probably right about that, but it's also, you know, I got one from Broyles. I shared. He's like, when is the next Wilbur show? Like mocking me. Somebody says, never. Yeah, you're right. Right. We just got a bigger theater instead, 1,500 seats. How about that? How about them apples? How about them apples? So anyway, man, I don't know if Nick Rocco's going to be there. You'll have to ask him. He missed the last show. So he wasn't allowed to go, I guess. So there's that. Okay. Lots of people are asking about costumes for people going. Oh. Oh, because it's Halloween? I didn't even think of that, but I don't know how that would work. I guess you could do anything you want, but I don't know. So hopefully we'll go. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if Turtle Boy still got it. Even if I don't sell out, that's fine. I mean, we sold out last time on like the second to last day or like the last day before the show. That was 1,100 seats. This is 1,500. This is going to be obviously harder to sell out. And it's also like we were also directly coming off the Reed trial last year. Momentum was higher. Obviously, we've lost some people. I don't think Boston Brandy's going to be returning. I think that's safe to say. I don't think Machado's going to be there. Of course, she didn't pay last time. She got a free ticket, so it doesn't really matter. But maybe we'll get more. Maybe we'll get more. So the Halloween party we're not doing the Halloween party this year because it's just we I'm like it's just too much. Like I'm not doing back to back weekends of that. I don't know. I want to focus on this. So sorry, the tradition of the Halloween party is over. Um, but yeah, there's that. What else do we? Oh yeah. So yeah, they might have policies about masks or people covering their faces. So the theater might, as Laura points out. So yes. But we got some shirt designs. I think we need to start selling, and I'll probably have them. The last time I didn't have time to get shirts made, but obviously this time we'll have shirts for sale there. Like last time I sold my old shirts. I'm like I had all these old Turtle Boy shirts that I wore during the shows. People bought them. Every single one was sold. And people are like, you could have charged a lot more for the shirts because like they're the vintage. You could smell me on it. You could smell the turtle. I smell great. Trust me. Okay. All right. Let me show you the shirts we have planned here. These are badass shirts. Turtleboy Live. The Relapse. Like, that's dope. Look at that. This could be you. There we go. In your Turtleboy Live, the Relapse shirts. That's cool design. I like that design. So I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that. Yeah. So who's going? You guys going? Is the you guys? Let's hear the chat. You guys going? You coming to the show? Is there still a vibe for this? Will we sell out? Will we get 1,100? Like, what are we gonna? I don't know. We'll see. Are you coming? Is the buzz still there? Is the interest still there? Did you go last time? And not this time? Did you not go last time and you missed it? Now you want to go this time? You know, what's the buzz? What are people feeling in the chat? You know, hopefully we see a lot of you people there. Hopefully we see a lot of you people there. I cannot wait for this. Please show microdots at the Relapse. Yeah, I got to give Richie a ticket to, yeah. Yeah. So, I'd love to go, but new grandchild arriving. Okay. Okay. Poll to see how many here are going. Yeah, let's do a poll. I'll do a poll right now. Actually, I tried doing a poll yesterday on Twitter. It wouldn't let me do it. YouTube. I'm going to do a poll, okay? Okay. Going again. Okay, first option, went to the Wilbur, going again. Second option, went to the Wilbur, not going. Not going. I want to do 10, 25 characters. Okay. Not going now. Not going Shub. Not going Shub. We'll do, okay. Not going Shub. Didn't go going to Shub. Okay. Didn't go to Wilbur. No Shub. No Schubert. Okay. All right. So there's 4 options there. I'm just curious what the chat's going to say here. So the 4 options are what best describes you. I went to the Wilbur. I'm going again. I went to the Wilbur. Not going to the Schubert. Didn't go to the Wilbur. Going to the Schubert. Didn't go to the Wilbur. No Schubert. And I understand a lot of people are, you know, I mean, only 1,100 people went to the Wilbur. So like there's 1,600 people in chat. Obviously not all of you were there. And some of you don't live around here and it was just not feasible. But right now, okay, well, only 14% of the chat went to the Wilbur. That's interesting. Because, yeah, I mean, it's exclusive, you know. But 13% said they went to the Wilbur and they're going again. 1% went to the Wilbur and they're not going. So, like, there's almost nobody that went last time that's like, nah, I'm not going this time. Didn't go to the Wilbur. So that's obviously Boston Brandy's the 1%. Okay. So now I know Brandy's watching. I didn't go to the Wilbur, but I'm going to the Schubert. 40% say that. And I didn't go to the Wilbur and no Schubert, 47%. So there we go. I mean, that's just being honest. I mean, it's a big, you know, only 1,100 people went. And obviously a lot of my audience does not live around here. Okay. But there we go. I mean, I like the results there. So I'm just curious. So yeah, there we go. 48% of you will not be going. But actually, according to the chat, 50% of the people watching right now plan on going. There we go. We almost got a sellout. We got 800 tickets sold, just like that. 2 tickets from St. Louis are $825. I got 2. Me and the wife are. There you go, baby. They're coming from St. Louis. Let's go. Jimmy gather people together. People going on their own with others on their own. Yes, that's right. Yes, we need to have like a single section, something like that. a meetup, a Turtleboy meetup spot. Because a lot of people just bought singles last time, you know? Just bring your husband, make him come. If he's a good husband, he'll want to go. That's the way I look at it. Okay. All right. All right, cool. Anyway, today is the Lindsay Clancy closing statements. So everybody's down there for that. It's a big thing. And a lot of people are going to be watching. I'm sure Melanie will get high ratings today. I'll be watching some of that. I mean, it is kind of good. Just sum it up for me. Sum it up. Let's go. If you missed a lot of this, I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw Reddington roast that doctor yesterday. And, you know, I'm gonna read a text from a friend, okay? That made me make a post. And this is not meant to be, I know this is controversial for some people, okay? But I'm just going to read one person's opinion, okay? This is a friend of mine. And she says, I know you're not really following the Clancy trial, but Kevin Reddington is next level. Unpopular opinion. This is not my opinion. This is somebody else's opinion. Unpopular opinion. Alan Jackson wishes he could be Kevin Reddington when he grows up. The man is incredible. He is so good at what he does. And I said, interesting. Someone else told me that they believe if Karen Reed hired Reddington, there wouldn't have been a second trial. That's just what I'm saying. Again, I haven't watched it as much as you people have. Okay. And she said, I've been saying that for 3 weeks. And she said, oh, yes, exactly. And I said, I don't know. It's people like I wouldn't go that far. Some might, you know what I mean? I go, so that's not my opinion. This is just because I haven't watched the trial. I don't have an opinion. Okay. And so I said, I go, Cannoni, I don't think Cannoni would have the same disdain for Reddington that she had for Jackson. She hates Jackson, right? But why does she hate Jackson? Why does she hate Alan Jackson? That's not Alan Jackson's fault. It's just a fact. She hates Alan Jackson. Why? Because he's from California. He's not from around here. She's a townie. She's like the ultimate townie. And Kevin Reddington's from around here. Kevin Reddington's well known, like everywhere. He's, you know, he's the guy. He was the guy you called in Massachusetts. He's been doing this since the beginning of time. Yeah, and Cannoni was the issue, right? But you play the hand you're dealt, right? If you're going up against a lefty, right, in baseball, then you want to, if you have two first basemen, one hits righty, one hits lefty, okay? Righties hit left-handed pitchers better. So if you have a lefty pitcher, you're going to want to play the righty because righties hit left-handed pitchers better than lefties do. If you have a right-handed pitcher, you're going to want to hit the lefty, right? Alan, it's like in that particular situation, if you have a judge that prefers, you know, lawyers that do things a certain way, it doesn't matter how good you are. If the judge doesn't like you, we saw what happened. Like we saw the way that Beverly Cannoni treated Alan Jackson. We all agree it was unfair. Okay. It was biased. That the rulings and that they took it out on Karen Reed, right? And so, and you're like, but you can't help but wonder. You're like, what would it have been like? I know, I've never thought about that. Obviously, it went well. Alan Jackson was an excellent attorney. David Yannetti was an excellent attorney. She had a great team. Bob Alessi was obviously the final ingredient that did all the expert stuff that no one else was. He did it better than anyone, you know. And AJ was an outsider. She doesn't like outsiders. She doesn't like things done a certain way. And it is a fair point to say that, like, well, Kevin Reddington knows what these judges like, and you know what I mean. I disagree with the opinion. And what do people say? Except Reddington would have been treated better, no doubt. Yeah, no, that's exactly. He would have been treated better. Like, there's no doubt that he would have been treated better by Beverly Cannoni. He wouldn't have pissed her off. Like, and he just commands the courtroom. Like, from the limited shit I've seen, and maybe it's the judge. This judge is a lot easier to deal with than Beverly Cannoni. This judge is like, you're watching this judge and you're like, oh, wow, there's normal judges out there. This guy's completely fair from what I've seen. I haven't watched a lot of the trial, but he seems completely fair from what I've seen. So it's like, you know, I watched this and I forgot what I was saying. But anyway, it's just interesting. That's not to say that Reddington's a better lawyer than Alan Jackson. I don't believe that. I think Alan Jackson's better. I think Alan Jackson's so smart and like comes up with angles that no one else thinks of. I don't know. I like Alan Jackson more. If I were to, I think he's a better attorney. I don't think there's anyone bad. I mean, he's so good. But the fact of the matter is, you got to play the matchups, right? And these judges don't like outsiders or anything. They're real provincial. I don't know. I'm still an AJ guy. I'll always be an AJ guy. But that's just me. That's just me. But I am so impressed by how spry Kevin Reddington is for 75. Like, it's just remarkable how sharp he is for his age. I'd never really, I saw him in the Turk case, but I didn't watch it that much. But god damn, for a man his age to be that quick-witted, like he just sits there for hours during direct and just takes mental notes on his little pad. No computer. Yeah, it's just, and is just gets up there and just eviscerates these people. Like, I'm like, how are you? I was expecting like Cosgrove. Like, that's what I see in old attorneys. Or remember Marty Weinberg? Marty Weinberg's a great attorney, but his delivery was slow. And it's just like, it's just different. It's just different. Like, he is so spry and doesn't seem anywhere near retirement. Like, he has no reason to stop. He has no reason to stop. That guy could still kill it. Like, so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. And he's funny. Like, he's funny. And the whole Reddington character is funny. Like, that he's so different online when he like starts typing and he seems drunk. And you're like, no way this is really Reddington. And then it really is. Oh, and did you see who else was there yesterday? A lot of people talk about the dog in court, but I saw this picture that was shared. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if you guys recognize anyone in that picture. Let me save this. Big question is, why are you watching Joel? I wasn't. It was Joel's comes up on my timeline, so Joel shared this screenshot. I would never watch Joel. I hate Joel. Let me pull this up so it's bigger. There it is. All right. So there's the dog. Everyone's focusing on the fact that there's a little dog in court. But then I scroll over, and who's that gentleman? Who's that gentleman? You guys recognize him? Have we figured that one out yet? Who that is? I'm like, oh shit, it's him. He gets work. People actually hire this guy. You guys recognize him? That's what's his name? That's the guy who yells at his clients. 5150's attorney. Who cross-examined me. Remember that? He's like, listen, Purple, you purple head, you turtle heads. That's 5150's attorney. Remember him? That's him. That's him. He's like, I'm like, and he's like dressed for court. Like, he's got other business. Like, there is other business in the court. And so he works out of Middleborough. That's right near Plymouth. And I'm like, oh shit, this guy gets work. That's crazy. That's the one that she fired. She fired him. He was hired to do two things. Number one, get an order on me. And number two, prevent charges from being issued in Leominster District Court. He failed on both fronts. It didn't work. It did not. He was not good. He was the worst attorney I've ever seen. Like, he was so bad. It was so bad. I don't know. Around here, you don't get much worse than that guy. He was not good. He was not good. If anybody, just like, dude, even being in court, the plaintiff was very upset with her lawyer. It was not going well. He was not asking the right questions. They were arguing. I'm like, this is a shit show. And she fired him. Yeah, so she got a new attorney. So anyway, I don't want to talk about her. She's old news. But what else do we got going on? But it's like, the lawyer's funny. That doesn't count as talking about it. It's like if we talk about the lawyer, to be very clear. The lawyer's funny. The lawyer plays. Yes, and you should announce that there will be security this time. Look out for any TBDS sufferers who try to film the show on the low, like last time. They did, and they will be exposed, shamed, doxxed, and thrown out if they're caught. Yes, correct. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the real reason this show is happening is not because of me or anyone else. It's because of one person. Machado, the legend, the talent, as we call her, the talent. And so Machado says, I remember the day Aiden called me and he was devastated that Wilbur wouldn't take him back. I said, you should reach out to Ernie Bach. He would not cancel your show. Guess he took my advice. So many things to analyze here. First of all, even though I have not spoken to her in months, she still cannot stop talking about our private phone conversations. Like, she can't stop. It's all she has. She's like, if I can't talk about my conversations with Turtle Dove, what am I going to talk about? It's what my people want to hear. They want to hear about Turtle Dove. Well, Turtle Dove hates me now. I guess I have to turn him into the villain. I guess he's got to be the bad guy now. But she has to. Is she not the biggest narcissist you've ever heard? Like, even this, she had to be like, I did this. This was my idea. Bitch, this is not your idea. Stop it. He was devastated that Wilbur wouldn't take him back. I wouldn't say devastated. I would say disappointed, but also optimistic. I'm like, well, let's go somewhere else. They ain't the only game in town. I love the Wilbur. I would love to do a show with the Wilbur again. It just wasn't in the cards. And I have nothing against the owner, Bill, of the Wilbur Theater. He was generous enough to host my content there, even though he disagrees with my theories on the Reed case. And I like the guy, but it just wasn't in the cards. And so that's fine. Part of being a mature adult is being like, okay, that's fine. Go our separate ways, and good luck. And he gave me the contact information. He recommended the Schubert, his competitor next door. And he recommended it and gave me the guy's contact info. I did not contact the guy. I have spoken with Ernie Bach before. Ernie Bach called me right after the Ernie Bach is a super rich guy if you guys aren't from around here. And he's got the naming rights to the two theaters next door to the Wilbur. And he called me one day. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Ernie Bach's calling me? Oh, man. And he wanted me to do a show there with Karen at the Wang, which seats 3,500. And I was like, yeah, sure, maybe. And this is when I was cool with Karen still. And she was just like, yeah, I'll get back to you. I never did. And so that's fine. I would have split it with her. We would have made a freaking killing doing it. But I'm like, oh, let's go next. We'll do the Wilbur instead. And we'll sell it out without her. We don't need her. We're good. And so first of all, when she's taking credit for this, when she's like, I said you should reach out to Ernie. I had a pre-existing relationship with him already, number one. Number two, I didn't call him this time around. I just had somebody else do it. I have a guy. I have a manager now who just booked this thing. I didn't lift a finger. Remember I said I was like looking for somebody to do it? Somebody did it. I don't even know if he wants me to say who did this, but I had somebody do this. Okay? He did it. He just took the initiative. He just started calling places until he found one that was interested. Yeah, let's do it. And they took it on. And so he's getting a commission on it. And so it's like, that's how business is done. That's how it should be done. The talent, I'm the talent, Machado. Like I, the person featured in it is not the person that books it. That's like, well, you haven't made it in the world if you're doing it yourself. You need a guy. I got a guy now. So there we go. I got a guy. I got people. There we go. I got people that do it. And so she's out here taking credit for it. She's like, I said you should reach out to Ernie Bach. He would not cancel your show. Guess he took my advice. I didn't take any advice. My manager did it. He just went out and did it. And that's it. I didn't have to lift a finger. I didn't pick this place. It was chosen for me. And yeah, there we go. So, but apparently it was all Machado. Somehow she did this because she can't get left out. She's like, I'm important. I tell him to do things. And she's like spiraling, dude. Big time spiraling. Like, look at this one, dude. This is like low blow. Okay. When I go, somebody said, this is a Bunyan here, diehard Bunyan. Lisa Marie says, for weeks you've been chastising Jess for not covering the Clancy trial. Today they're besties because Jess saw her in court for 2 days a month ago, all because it fits your narrative. I mean, she said they were seat besties, they were court besties. This is so disingenuous. You know, they're so protective of her. They're so like, how dare you say this about, Machado? Like, bro, Machado takes shots at everybody. That's like her brand. And they're like, oh my God, you can't take shots at her. You're being so mean. The Bunyans are so sensitive towards their queen. It's odd the way they worship her. Like it's odd. It's just like, my supporters do not worship me this way. It's odd. Now, I responded by go, why isn't Jeff Machado allowed to see his son? And why didn't he write him any letters? That's all I want to know. Because that's what, again, I wouldn't know any of this information if Machado didn't put it out there about him. She's the one that announces to the world that my husband is not allowed to see his son, but he is allowed to write letters to him, and he is choosing not to write letters to him because that takes effort, and he's not doing that. I didn't say that. His wife said that. And so then she goes, your daughter didn't even want to see you on Father's Day. What? What are you talking about? Like, we've reached the point now where we're just making shit up. She is reaching the making shit up phase. But I've obviously never told her that. I've never said that. It's untrue. Like, what are you talking about? You're just making shit up. She didn't want to see me on Father's Day. What are you talking about? Of course, I saw my kids Father's Day. It's like the one day of the year. They're all yours. Of course, she wants to see me on Father's Day. What are you talking about? I got freaking, they made me cards and shit. I got cards. I'm one in the Minions. You are one in the Minions. Happy Father's Day. Says I'm the best dad ever. Thanks for being such a great dad. Okay? You know who didn't get a card like this? Jeffy. Jeffy's never gotten a card like that before. Because he's not a dad. Dads stick around. Dads take care of their kids. Dads do shit. Dads pay for shit. It's just so, imagine being married to Jeffy, who abandoned it. Like, it's like undeniable, bro. The court docs specifically say he didn't pay child support. He had to be court ordered to pay overdue child support. He chooses not to see his son and make no effort to do so. That's what she said. She's like, it's because it's too hard. It's like her going to the Lindsay Clancy trial. It's just too hard, too emotional. She can't do it. She can't do it. Do I have more cards? I need like a drawer. Oh, and by the way, I'm getting these weird. We need to talk about this. I got a weird card in the mail yesterday. I'm gonna go get it right now out of my for health reasons. Can't see the sun. Just whatever that means. It's like cuffing and puffing. Ugh. Too much exercise. The kid lives on the 3rd floor. Jeffy can't get up that high. Too much exercise for Jeffy. It's just like, and this doesn't bother me. Like when they start making shit up, that's when I know I've already won. Because you can't come up with something about me that's like legitimate. Like I know myself. I'm confident enough in my parenting. Like this is just silly. You're making shit up. That's the difference between me and her. Is for me to roast her, all I have to do is share the court docs and hit play. That's it. And boom, roasted. This is who you are. Here's the court docs. Here's your own words. Whatever. For her to roast me, you just have to make shit up. Just make it up out of nowhere. Absolutely just make it up. Yes. And yeah, the less they know, the better regarding who booked it. Yes, correct. Yeah. Give them nothing. Cool. All right. So anyway, speaking of letters, right? I got yesterday in the mail, I got a letter. Now, first I got this letter. This is from, okay. This is sent to my ex-wife's house. Okay. Addressed to me. And see the return there? You guys see the return? See what it says? Karen Reed, PCSC, 52 Obey Street, Plymouth, Mass. Obviously, this is not from Karen Reed, so I get it, okay? I don't know when I got this, not that long ago, okay? And it's a card. It says, I enjoy crafts, if you mean craft beers. Then I open it up, and it just says, so there's a smiley face on this side. And it just says Aiden with the name spelled wrong. Enjoy some crafts on your birthday. Don't go out in public. And inside the card is just, I open it up, okay, and then this is in there. What is this? It's like snakeskin or something. Like, what is this? What is that? Like creepy, right? So I got that and I just put it in a drawer. I don't know what the fuck that is. Then yesterday, I got another letter. Okay. Same shit, same writing. K. Reed, P.S. Court, Plymouth, Mass. Is the return address. My hands are pretty clean. Wash your hands. Are they dirty? I thought they were pretty clean. Just wash my hands. I don't know. Anyway, don't touch it. Yeah, I know. Like for fingerprints, you mean? Yeah. So anyway, then I get this one. This is the card. Okay. It just says hello. Green. Guten Tag. Bunch of, so it's like hello in all these languages. I open it up. And what's in it? More snakeskin or whatever this is, except there's like a bunch of them now. What is this? I don't want to even like put my fingerprints on it because I'm like, what is that? And I open the card up and it just says, number 5, hope you are enjoying the hunt. What the fuck is that? Put it right back in there. Got 2 stamps on it too. I don't know what's up with that. It's got the Boston, Mass thing at the top. So this one was sent in June. I got a June 26 marker on it. This one is late August. So I don't know what to do with this. I don't know, like, what do I do? What does any of this mean? People like call the police and say what? Like, what are the police going to say? Like, what? I don't even know how to interpret that. It's creepy, but what am I going to be like? I'm getting creepy shit in the mail? You're allowed to send, I don't know. Like, it's like, is it a threat? Like it's meant like where, but if you bring that to the police, you're gonna be like, well, where's the threat? Where's like, and you're like, well, it could be interpreted as a threat. I guess I could make a report. I guess just document this stuff. I guess it's creepy. It's absolutely, yeah, maybe, yeah, it's just so it's reported. I don't expect them to do anything with it, but like, it's weird. And I'm holding on to them because I'm like, if this escalates, like, what is this? Like, this is like some stalker serial killer shit. Like, it could be, or it could just be someone fucking with me. It could mean absolutely nothing. Like, what is that? What are these weird cryptic clues with like that's snake skin? Like, what is that shit? So I don't want to touch if this escalated or something happened. I would want this printed. I don't want to touch this shit. I don't know. So is it stalking? I don't think it's legal stalking. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. I don't know what to interpret this as. What is this shit? What is this shit? I don't know. It's like the parent. The parent. Remember, somebody killed the freaking turtle. Somebody killed the turtle and hung it outside my parents' house by its neck. That's my life. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So I don't know. It's threatening. I don't think it's legally threatening. That's the thing. You bring that to the police, they're going to be like, police don't want to do any work. They're going to look at that and be like, where's the threat? What are we supposed to do with this? Drop everything we're doing and figure out who's sending you letters in the mail. They're not going to do that. I don't even know what to do with it. I could just ignore this. I could just throw it out. But it's weird. Yeah, and I think that's Laura's always the voice of reason around here. And it's like you just do it to make a record. Like that's it. Just in case anything happens in the future, you're like, well, it's on record that I went there and I was like, he'd been reporting some weird letters. The don't go outside is a little threatening. That's definitely a little threatening. Remember, I got indicted for telling the McAlberts I wouldn't go out in public if I was you guys, but that was only because I was giving them good advice about like you're going out and you're getting in public spats and you're embarrassing yourself. I would just stay home, but that's just me. I didn't tell you don't go out. I just suggested it. But yeah, so there's that. Yeah. Somebody's saying it's turtle skin from the shell. Oh, interesting. I don't know. It's peelings of a turtle shell? Really? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. The hunt. Yeah, the hunt thing is weird. Yeah, I should probably make a record of this, I think. I think it's in everyone's best interest to make a record. And I'm a witness, and it's telling me don't go outside, like don't do shit. Like, how do I know McAlbert didn't write this? You know? Imagine if Jen McCabe got a letter like this, like the hell that would happen. They'd be like, oh my God, we have to stop everything. Shock and horror. Shock and horror. She's crying because somebody claimed made a meme of her daughter and put like a splooge on the girl's leg or something like that. And it's like, it's not actually cum. That's the thing about it. It's not real semen. It's just somebody it's a meme. Somebody made a meme of her daughter. And she's like, oh my God, there's semen everywhere. There's so much semen. And the doxing and the children and the semen. Okay. It looks like Lindsay Clancy's in court. So when the trial, when the whatchamacallit starts again, we're gonna break and probably just end it. But I saw the attorney Sprague thing yesterday. That was pretty funny. That was funny. That whole back and forth. Attorney Sprague. Jen Sprague. Call her attorney, please. Call her attorney Jen Sprague, please. Is my birthday before or after the trial? It is, I mean, it could be in the middle of it, depending on how long the trial lasts. Please make a bigger deal about this. That's the thing. I don't want to like whine too much because, I'm not like these bitches. I refuse to be the perpetual victim like them. Like this is just weird. That's all. This is just weird shit. I don't know what to deal with this. And they kind of want you to go to the police and be like, "Oh my God, he's a cop caller. He's crying about the cops and this shit." I'm not crying about this. I just think it's weird and cryptic. Come do it. Like if you want to come scare me, just show up. Show your face. Yeah, I would stop touching my face. Okay. I'll definitely give my hands a thorough washing after this. Okay. Let me read some turtle chat, shall we? And by the way, that chick left me a message. That chick still messaged me. What's her name? You want to listen to it? Okay, she left me a 4-minute message. What's her name? Why am I drawing a blank? The green dress girl. Brittany Romano. Oh yes, J7! Yes! J7's here! I love when just J7 just shows up out of nowhere. He gets 20 memberships. It's like, yes, J7, my dog. I love it. I love it when she just shows up and shows her support like that. She's like, yeah, even though I fucking hate you, Turtle Dove, because you're going at my queen Bunyan, and I'm like the top Bunyan. Here's 20 memberships. I still fucking love you, Turtle Boy. I love it. I love it. She's such a wild card. She's so fucking nuts. I love it. I love how fucking crazy J7 is. Like, she's nuts. She's absolutely fucking insane. She shows up out of nowhere and it's like, boom, 20 memberships. Oh shit, J7 from the top rope. It's so random when it happens. She just shows up and you're like, you forgot about her. You're like, oh, she just reminding you she's here. 20 memberships. Boom from the top. Like, I just remember like J7 Macho Man just jumping off the top rope. Boom, the people's elbow. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, and she can't. You got matched there, J7. You got beat. You won't do 50. You won't do 50. There's no fucking way J7's doing 50. She doesn't have it in her. I'm telling you right now. She doesn't have it in her to do 50. I'm telling you. Don't encourage her. She's insane. Bro, she's buying memberships. Shh, don't say anything. Just let her buy. But congratulations to the winners, by the way. Congrats to the winners. I know it's Baker's scarred from all this. I get it. Bad. You're really mean to Baker. Okay? J7, that was fucked up what you did. But just don't stop buying memberships, okay? Just keep buying the membership. Please. Come on. Top rope. Boom, J7. Let's go. I'll take it. Yeah, but I will take money from anyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care. If Krusty Panties wants to buy 20 memberships, she can buy them. I don't give a shit. Just keep buying memberships. What the fuck do I care? Yeah, she did it. She did it. She did it. She's so nuts. She's so nuts. Let's fucking go. She bought 70 memberships. Let's fucking go. Congrats to the winners. Congrats to the winners. I love it. She's so crazy. I love it. Fucking love it. Oh my God. That is so awesome. She just shows up. Raining memberships, bro. I don't know. Come on, you gotta win one. How does Melanie? She's always in the chat. She comments all the time. She doesn't get one. She's not one of the winners. How is that possible? I don't even know. Just crazy, bro. Machado's not gonna like that though. I don't think she won't do 50 more. No fucking way. There's no way she'll do 50 more. She ain't that crazy. It's not that crazy. That's $250. No way. No way. So anyway, the other chick left me a voicemail yesterday, and it's 4 minutes long. You guys ready for this? Here we go. I'll play part.
I just got your voice note. Sorry, I'm a lot easier. Just send voice notes if that's okay. I mean, here's the thing about me. I smile when I'm uncomfortable. I smile when I'm okay. I'm late all the time. I'm running. I'm smiling. That's just how I get through anything in life. I don't really know how to defend that in that regard. That's just who I am as a person. I don't have bad intentions by any means.
I have not listened to this whole thing.
We weren't even in session for court when they
weren't
did
in session. Weren't you standing
and
up?
Earlier
They were
in
standing
the first
up.
break, I was wearing heels and fell. So when someone said don't fall, there was laughter, but that wasn't the laughter at the screen. I'm just curious why Lauren from Netflix isn't getting the same thing, or the Karen who's the blogger behind me for putting her head and full on smiling into the shot.
Shots fired. She's like, why aren't you going at Karen Goldberg or Lauren from Netflix. Is she the one with the glasses there next to her? I don't know. Why aren't you going at them? She's like, can you go at them, please? I'm not going anyway. I just wrote an article and talked about it. Like, first of all, everybody in the world's talking about it. So,
Listen, I do believe it was Court Dog the other day asked his favorite song, and then someone asked his favorite show there. So the Taylor Swift was on par. Speaking about Luigi Mangione, I was called during the lunch break. I mean, I could show you the um, the email I got, and then also what is it? Sorry, my phone is my
all this
dad
to
was checking
explain why
in,
you're
but
smiling?
I was like, I could show you the thing about a Reddit board that happened about me and how the New York press wants to go after this one girl, Christine Savino. Like, I'm not trying to get super
What?
granular with you here, but like, I was like laughing when I walked in to tell Lauren. I was like, there's like a Luigi Mangione crisis. I don't really know. I just spoke to the girl, like,
What?
and we were laughing. Like, there's things are taken out of context all the time, and I understand that. But and you can stand by your reporting. I mean, I'm not best friends with Jessica Machado by any means.
Oh.
She sat next to me the first day in there, and I needed a piece of gum, and she handed it to me.
Oh.
She then exchanged numbers with me,
Oh,
and then
you got a
she
number.
said that she would save my seat the next day.
Oh.
If that is what best friends are, then I guess my real best friends are the Netflix girls who save my seat for me every day. I understand that, like, you get to the truth of things, and I don't have any awful preconceived notions about you because I've actually been a fan of you. What you did for Karen Reed was amazing, and the way that you stood behind your stuff, I've never want to change your mind or make you think something you don't believe. But like, to be quite frank with you, I am someone who has always struggled with my mental health, and I came up here to write a story on Lindsay about mental health and why mental health matters, and the way that like a moment can be changed, and now suddenly there's like, I'm a nut job, this and that. Like, respectfully, I get that perhaps you can take one image and make a mockery out of me, but like, I can take an image and think one thing about you, and I try not to do it. And I'm not trying to be corny or preachy, but I'm like, I really, like, I didn't come here with any bad intentions. The video about me drinking is a bit uncomfortable. I have ginger ale that the court watched me pour from my 2 liter thing because I had a queasy stomach. I talked to a therapist. That's what she said she was. And the way it was sliced and diced, like, I'm genuine. What you see is what you get. Like, I smile when I'm uncomfortable. Maybe if you could go back in every single video, because it seems like social media has been doing that, you'll see that I smile and I'm uncomfortable. I was on a panel speaking for a council I'm on, and I was smiling and uncomfortable. Like, I'm not a public speaker. Like, I'm not trying to give you a roundabout way of excuses. I'm just trying to say that, like,
That's exactly what
I can
you're doing.
appreciate what you're saying and why you see it one way. I was just trying to tell you that things aren't always as they seemed, and the court wasn't in session. Like, the jury wasn't in there, the judge wasn't in there. We stand when we originally get in there. Like, I don't know what else to say.
That's the longest thing I've ever heard. I don't even know. Oh my God. This chick. I feel a little bad for her. Because that's tough. Like, she got roasted. But I mean, she didn't kill anyone. Okay. She was inappropriate. To me, she's the face of everything that is wrong with this trial. The people who are like, not taking this seriously, turning this into a circus and blah, blah, blah. And that the difference between this and the Karen Reed trial was the circus in this situation was created by the people who were going to the trial. The pink people outside, they're creating a circus. They're turning, oh my God, Reddington, do you listen to Taylor Swift? They're making this a circus. With Karen Reed, we didn't make the circus. We just bought tickets, right? The government made the circus. Michael Proctor made the circus. Michael Morrissey made the circus. Joe Paul made the circus. The whole thing was a circus because of them, right? I didn't make the circus. We just showed up. We bought tickets, right? We're like the protesters that showed up at Ringling Brothers because we're like, save the elephants. That's what we were at that. We saw the circus in town and we saw what they were doing to the elephants. We showed up. We're like, leave the elephants alone. That was the Karen Reed trial. This is like, they are the circus. So she's like the face of the circus. Do I think she's the devil? No, I don't think she's that. And I'm like, I see what's happening to her, like nationwide, like the pylon, and I'm like, wow, I couldn't imagine what that's like to wake up and like my face is on Fox News. Everybody fucking hates me. Everybody hates me. Like I am the biggest lolcow ever. Like I've gone viral. And I'm like, that would really suck. But then I hear that. And I'm like, oh, she's just like retarded. Like, oh my God. Like, and you like winked at the camera. She winked at the camera. That wasn't like smile. Like it was bizarre. Like it was bizarre the way she looked at the camera. And she's like a kid. To me, she just represents everything that's wrong with this. So I've heard that everybody's saying you got to turn on Grant, got to turn on Towel. Wait, are they?
That's the death of Cora Dawson and/or Callan.
Okay, so we got closing statements on. Holy shit, we got to watch that. You know, and I'm told the Towel News Network is broadcasting right now. Scapiccio. Oh, Lally's on the stand. I got to. Towel News Network, give them a sub.
I don't recall everything that was listed.
If he was going to give you anything, when you got it off time, you document it.
How did I document what was provided?
Yes.
You know, it's discovery that was provided to you.
So the notice of discovery that was provided to me, that's the way you documented what the state police gave you? Is that right?
So as soon as I receive anything, as far as discovery is concerned, I don't wait for the next 4 days to turn it over. What I do is as soon as I receive something, I make a copy of it, I forward it to council, mark the notice of discovery, and cover letter attachment.
So my question was, the notice of discovery that you provided in this case, you said you provided 26 notices of discovery. That discovery came from triple property, right?
Not all of it. I mean, there were items from other agencies, so if anything from the same place or something would come in.
From triple property.
Correct.
Okay. And so my question to you is, when do you get whatever you, so how does triple property give it to you? Does he email it? Does he drop it off? Do you have a conversation? How does that happen?
It varies depending on what it is. I think for the influence.
And I wanted to hear from you as to what we should do next. It seems to me we have finished Mr. Lal's testimony.
Judge Crap. Oh, no. Oh, this guy, Judge Crap. Okay. Sorry if it's echoing. I don't really know if it is, but oh, this is fun. I know. It's just like somebody's like, you got to tune into this. I'd rather kill myself than listen to Lally. I'll listen to it later on. And what's with the audio? What's with the audio? Why is it like so weird like that? Like who's the? And so she's there with Miles King, who I assume is in custody. So it's just crazy that like Miles King literally killed someone. It's kind of undeniable that he did it. It's like the evidence against him is overwhelming, and they just fucked this case up by having a racist lead detective, and she got him out because they fucked up so bad. Doolin lowered the bail to like 10 G's. He got out, and then he went right back to dealing drugs and got arrested by the feds. And this case has a better chance of being thrown out than mine or Karen Reed somehow. Because it's command. Like Rosemary Scapiccio, just like for whatever reason, her and Reddington just like in the courtroom, they're treated differently. They just command the judges. Like the judges don't fuck with them for some reason. It's bizarre. It's great. I mean,
What it is to divide the date call, okay? And we should have that conversation, but I got one paragraph description, maybe that's all I asked for.
You asked for one paragraph description.
And, you know, I appreciate that, help you each think about whether that person's being called, but I'm not sure that I can flesh it out enough.
Understood.
So, I'm guilty of my own ignorance. So, you want to start, Mr. Lally? Let's see if we can get Mr. Lally on and off stand and we can have further conversations.
Sure.
Okay, he's testifying as to the first part of the motion, the issue of finding of disclosure.
who's there? Is that Peter Murphy? I see Peter Murphy, Jack Carney. Who's that? Prim looking.
And potential prejudice.
I don't know if the first part of the story is worth through the process, so I can ask any questions regarding the part.
All right, we can take a look if there's an objection. Okay? Okay, we can recall Attorney Love.
Chick looks like Kelsey, doesn't she? Who's that girl?
Oh, can I ask one question?
Sure.
I don't think I'm
That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is the way Lally walks,
The
man.
testimony in the other room, that means July 2025, before that. And I don't mind.
Yeah. Testimony has been transcribed, all the parties have it, so I'm not going to go over any of that testimony. I think we're going to rely on the individual police departments to give you everything. And if you didn't get it, you waited until it's right before the trial. So look through the trial file. Is that what you did? Look through the file right before trial?
No, not right before trial. That's not what I said.
Okay, but your practice is to rely on the police departments, individual police departments, to give you all of the discovery, is that right?
Yes.
Your practice isn't to go to the individual police departments and look at their files, right?
At the point in time you're talking about it.
All right. So we'll listen to that another time. I can't with the audio. Let's put on can we is it bad? Is it like poor form to stream Melanie? Stream in the trial? Is that like poor form? Can I do that? Like, don't forget, like in the Miles King, like somebody got murdered. Marquis Sims got murdered. And he ID'd Miles King. He ID'd him in his like dying breath. And Miles King's like a scumbag, like a huge scumbag who can't stop breaking the law. Like jails were made for people like Miles King. He's a bad dude. Bad dude. Like jail for him ain't a big deal. Like he's just like, yeah, whatever. Obviously, go right like who jail, outside, whatever. I'm still the same guy, you know. Still gangster. Gangster. Ask her first. That's a no. Oh, is that like frowned upon? She won't mind at all. I don't think she likes that. She could be hot and cold. I'll ask her. I don't think she's going to get back to me. Somebody says, bad form. It's bad form to do that. Okay. But I want to hear what she has to say. But I like her. Isn't that the ultimate compliment? Okay. I don't know. I guess so. But I like her. I'm a fan. Okay. I also want to stay in her good graces. I don't want to cross any lines, you know? So I guess, because I don't want to watch the trial without her commentary. It's weird. But Court TV doesn't have commentary. I want commentary. It's like tuning into a game with no commentators. I'm just not going to hear the commentary about it. I'll just ask her. But she doesn't like answering during shows. All right. Do you mind if I briefly share your stream and coverage of the Clancy closing arguments? I'll be polite. I don't, like, and if she says no, she won't care. But I should ask. I feel like it's the polite thing to do is ask. She always says the channel should get the views, and they should. That's the thing. I mean, I could just send you right over there. But it's also not like I'm not going to be covering it the whole time. It's just going to be bits and pieces. She just thinks people should ask. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll ask. If not, she called out Kurt in her life yesterday. She hates Kurt. What did she say to Kurt? She hates him. You know who really hates Kurt? From Uncivil Law is Rakeda. He hates Kurt. Yeah, everybody go subscribe to Melanie. Go do it. She likes me, but I'd like to keep it that way. You know what I mean? I start doing some shit she just finds offensive, then you're not in her good graces anymore. I don't want to be in her bad graces. I love Melanie. I don't want to mess that relationship up. I've screwed up enough relationships, you know? All right, let's put on Court TV until then. Till we get an answer. Oh, she wrote back. She goes, what'd she say? Sure. Okay. She said sure. Okay, I got her permission.
the defendant's mental condition at the time of the killing, including any credible evidence of mental impairment or the effect on the defendant of her consumption of prescription drugs in determining whether the Commonwealth has proved beyond a reasonable to find the defendant not guilty unless and until the Commonwealth produces evidence from.
Yeah, Phil's in front of her on the, it's called the Bowden defense. B-O-W-D-E-N, from the cops do a bad job. All right, sorry. See right in this.
Attorneys the evidence they're provided with the assistant district attorney. All right. So first, let me ask you the question: has any member of the jury read, seen, heard, or anything from any source about any aspect of this case that would affect her? Thank you for following those instructions. And so where we are now.
Wow, look at all the exhibits. Kevin Reddington loves a good. They call it chalk. They call them chalks in Massachusetts. Chalk, like C-H-A-L-K. He's got tons of them. They're all over the courtroom. Giant boards. No, they were not always there. They're there. He's going to use them in his closing. Instead of using a digital presentation, he's old school, and I like it. And he's going to put them up on an easel. He's going to whip them around. He's going to show them to the jury. This is an indication of what's going to happen today. All this evidence, because I think the Commonwealth does theirs digitally, but we'll see. Wow, that's, I mean, there's a shot.
And you know who does that? Who I loved? Jose Baez. Watch the closing arguments of the Casey Anthony trial and how he's done. I love that. I love a good chalkboard. I love it. The way, watch the, we broke down the Jose Baez closing arguments on Casey Anthony. It was so good. It was so good. I mean, to get Casey Anthony off is no easy cat, you know, like it was so good. There's something about that that's just really cool.
There's a photo. I love chalks.
In the process is, and so where we are now in the process is, I just want to explain a little bit to you. We're going to do what we call the arguments in charge. All right. And that just means I'm going to give the charges my instructions. All right. I'm going to instruct you on the law that you are to apply in this case to the facts that you're going to find. And then the argument part is we're going to hear the closing arguments from the attorneys. And the way we do it, the way I do it is I kind of split it up. So I'm going to give you first half of my instructions. We'll talk a little bit about the specific charges in this case. And then after the closing arguments, I'll come back and give you some more general instructions about how you, the burdens of proof and how you are to go forward and do your deliberations and handle the deliberations. All right. So they take a while. All right. And they can be, well, they can't, I was going to say rather dry, but they are dry. And so what the parties and myself have agreed to do is I'm going to we printed out the instructions that I'm going to read to you. So you'll have those with you, all right, as we go through this morning. And so some people find it helpful to read along and comprehend. Some people don't. So if it's distraction, you don't have to read it, but some people find it helpful. So we thought we'd do that. You also should know that you'll have these instructions. You can bring these with you in the deliberations. So you'll have this whole outline of what the law is so that you are to apply. All right. So at this point, if we could hand out the copies of the instructions. Oh, you already have those? I forget how efficient our court officers here are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the instructions now. All right. So my instructions on the law are going to be delivered to you in two phases. As I said, first, I'm going to instruct you on the specific indictments that have been brought against Ms. Clancy. After I conclude my instructions regarding the charges, the Assistant District Attorney, Ms. Sprague, and Attorney Reddington will each deliver their closing argument. Remember, the arguments of counsel are not themselves evidence. They're provided to assist you in organizing and understanding the evidence that's been presented during the trial and the conclusions that each party would like you to draw from that evidence. At the conclusion of the attorney.
The fuck?
Like you to draw their closing argument. Second part of my jury instructions. And in that phase, I will go over a number of very important principles that will guide your overall evaluation of the evidence, your deliberations, and your eventual verdicts. The instructions are to be taken and considered in whole. All right. So the first and second part are equally important. So you have to consider all my instructions as a whole. You'll notice, as I said, I'm reading these instructions to you. Excuse me. I apologize for doing that, but I have to give these instructions clearly and accurately. So as I said, to assist you in your deliberations, I provided you with written copies of these instructions. However, those written instructions are not a substitute for the oral instructions I'm giving now. So please listen carefully. All of my instructions are equally important. You're not to overemphasize one portion of these instructions or ignore other portions. These charges have specific factual elements that the Commonwealth that compels you to find the defendant not guilty unless and until the Commonwealth produces evidence from whatever source that proves that the defendant. In this case, Ms. Clancy is charged with 3 counts of murder. I want to talk first about the issue of criminal responsibility. All right. Now, to prove the defendant guilty of any crime, the Commonwealth must first prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was criminally responsible at the time the alleged crime was committed. The Commonwealth bears the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt with extreme atrocity. All right. And I discussed those elements earlier when I discussed the charge or the theory of first-degree murder committed with extreme atrocity or cruelty. So they're listed in that other section. All right. Now, I want to talk about manslaughter. If you find that the Commonwealth has not proven the charges of first-degree or second-degree murder, you shall consider the lesser offense of manslaughter. Now, Manslaughter is an unlawful killing unintentionally caused by wanton or reckless conduct. Wanton or reckless conduct is intentional conduct that creates a high degree of likelihood that substantial harm will result to another person. An omission or failure to act may constitute wanton or reckless conduct only where the defendant has a duty to act. To prove that the defendant is likelihood that substantial harm would not have acted, the Commonwealth must prove a defendant may have the requisite knowledge, even if she suffered from a mental impairment or consumed prescription drugs, but you may consider such evidence in determining whether the Commonwealth has proved this element. All right. So that's my instructions on the specific elements of the charges in this case. So at this point, I'm going to ask the attorneys to deliver their closing arguments. Just want to remind you, as important as they are, the closing arguments are not evidence. All right. And I'll go over that a little bit later, but I just want to remind you that. And so after we go through the closing arguments, I'll come back and give you the balance of my instructions on the law. All right. And so, counsel.
Kevin Redding will go first with his closing argument for the defense, and that is it's one of the quirks of Massachusetts. Let's pay attention. This is going to be fiery, and he's got a lot of exhibits out, and he says he's only going to take it half an hour, so I'm going to time it.
About 5 weeks ago that we met like this, and I indicated to you that thank you for incredible service. That, all of us mean that sincerely. You took literally more than a month.
I'm gonna go to Court TV. Appreciate that, Melanie. But I'm not gonna watch that much of this because I have shit to do. We'll watch it later on Sex Cult tonight, I'm sure. But she's about 5 minutes behind because she comments live. So I'm just gonna, and I like watching shit on 1.5 speed. I cannot do full speed. I mean regular speed. I can't go back. I can't go back. Here we go.
Well, 5 weeks ago that we met like this, and I indicated to you that thank you for incredible service. That, all of us mean that sincerely. You took literally more than a month out of your lives and sat here attentively. Incredible. Through some of the toughest, most gut-wrenching things that any person can be subjected to. And I indicated that, sadly, jurors carry this struggle with them for years. And the service that you have performed, I have never seen before. You have listened to evidence. You have been fair. You have been objective. You've listened to the judge's instructions, and you've carried them into your heart, consistent with your oath, which is a very, very solemn oath. Passed between government and Lindsay, who has placed herself on her country, which country you are, as a jury of her peers. When you consider what's at stake here in the sense of what we've been dealing with, Barbara, Dawson, Kelly. She knows loss. And that's why we think Cora does. Kelly. They are the victims of this case. They are the victims of the horrible, horrific act that has been laid at your feet as jurors to decide whether or not Lindsay is guilty. Beyond a reasonable doubt, as his honor instructed you and will instruct you, what that means, that standard of proof that we as citizens in this country are so blessed to have, proof beyond a reasonable doubt before the government charges any citizen with a crime. I don't care how many cops you have in here, how many DAs are sitting here, how many people are sitting in the front row, and they're all going to sit there and be proud of this prosecution. I told you in an opening statement that this is a prosecution that has ripped the soul out of this girl. This is what they had. This is their family. How does this turn into this? How? Because of the damn medicine and the lousy medical care that she got. You can troop as many paid experts as you want to come in here and tell the jury, oh, well, she didn't say that she heard voices inside her head. She said she heard voices from outside her head. She said she was making chicken McNuggets. There was a bowl on the sofa. She wasn't making chicken McNuggets. She said something. As I think and I muse and I try real hard to tell you what my opinion is, that this woman was acting in her right mind when these children were killed.
So right away, I guess we're gonna watch this. We're doing this today. I mean, right away, it's like this guy's so good. But I'd like to point out how many TikTokers out there are devastated now because they have been counting on, like, today's the day Reddington drops the bombs, right, on Patrick. Today's the day he's going to tie it all together. He's playing chess, not checkers. And now he's admitting, yeah, she did it. She absolutely did it, but she was mentally ill. That's what he's saying.
So, when you consider the evidence in this case, you consider the person who is in front of you, who is the defendant, as the government refers to her. And as a responsible woman like to tell you, even though a person is a defendant in that system of justice, you don't have to defend against anything. The government has the burden of proof. When the DA decides to charge someone with a crime, he has the burden of proof. His assistants have the burden of proof to prove, number one, that Lindsay is guilty of this offense beyond a reasonable doubt, and then prove, number two, that Lindsay, at the time, killed her children, was not suffering from a mental disease or defect that caused her to have a lack of substantial capacity to appreciate, to know, to realize that what was being done while she was in a psychosis. But we'll laugh about that. It's just another woman. I guess it's just going to make an excuse. She's depressed. GAD, general anxiety. Give her a couple of pills, she'll be all right. You know from looking at the objective evidence in this case, this young lady, believe me, I don't have many clients like that. This young lady did nothing wrong in her life. She was a nurse, a daughter, a wife, and a darn good mother. You can see from the objective evidence, you can see, and you'll have all the exhibits for you to look at, and you can see by looking at these photographs, which you will have in the jury room. You can see the Facebook postings. You can see what she indicates about, for example, I just randomly grabbed this one, a son, my prince, that they would have you think she killed him first, cruelly, because she didn't like him. That is repulsive. So she's living real life with Pat, her kids, having a great time that summer. Life is good. She had to go back to work. In an opening statement, I told you, I said, watch the evidence. Watch the manipulation. Because that's what this case was built upon originally and how it developed as the case progressed until it's in front of you. And how does that happen? Well, in the very beginning, went all the way back to when the first 911 call you had to suffer through was made. You could hear in the voice, Pat Clancy, the horror, what he had obviously experienced. You can see from the evidence that's before you, the injuries that she suffered. You will have in the jury room the exhibits that indicated the extent of the injuries from, I don't have to go through all of them, the extent of the injuries to slitting her throat, to slashing her wrists, throwing herself out a window, blood all over the bedroom floor, window open, screen slashed. Oh no, screen wasn't slashed, my bad. That's what she thought. It's called a delusion. She was in a psychosis when she thought, they're probably right here, sitting here, believes that she slashed the screen. She didn't. It's objective evidence. And why did we spend almost a week showing you the extent and the severity of that suicide attempt? The reason that we had to do that is because they were arguing that it was a fake suicide.
So that's a fair question. Why aren't we watching in real time? Because I like watching it 1.5 speed. That's just a thing I do. I prefer 1.5 speed. I don't like regular speed. But thank you.
Little cuts. No bleeding. She didn't mean to kill herself. She's going to throw herself out the window, I guess, and slide down the house. Remember that one hanging off of the window? Sliding down the house in. Lindsay screwed up. And she hurt herself bad. You know that's not what happened. You know that she made the testimony of Dr. Velkovich, that she made a very, very significant suicide effort, slashing her wrist, slitting her throat. And isn't it interesting when you consider objective evidence. Googling, slitting a throat. Googling, suicide. Googling, drugs. Googling, side effects. Googling, ketamine treatments. Googling, all of these drugs. Googling the effects of tox medications. Lorazepam, sertraline, hydroxyzine, lorazepam, lorazepam, trazodone, fluoxetine, zolpidem, myrtazine, clonazepam, quetiapine, diazepam, quetiapine. It goes on and on and on and on and on. You have to chat, you have the descriptions to see. And obviously, she wasn't consuming all of these at the same time, because one thing this kid did was try to do what she was supposed to do. She took the drugs as she was told to take them. She was religious in her obligations to take care of her health. She went to Dr. Tut's when she was a young lady living in a house with a husband and her babies, respected nurse, wife, friend, mother. Should have kept drinking, huh? That was a big deal, wasn't it? Remember that? We're just going to assassinate this young lady in every which way we can. Remember that evidence? I was concerned. She was drinking 5 drinks a day. She was worried about, you heard the evidence of 2019. They talking about? She wasn't drinking while she had her kids. She wasn't drinking while she was breastfeeding. She would have a couple of beers with her friends. That's bad. Put that over in the bad pile. Right here. We spent all that time showing through Dr. Lapasida's testimony that this was a legitimate, dreadful, horrific suicide attempt. You think about this beautiful young girl throwing herself out a window. That's a corner. I don't know if you have to play pool. I challenge you to tell this jury why we spent a week showing that she committed, as your witnesses.
Counsel, address the jury, please.
Said, their witnesses, serious suicide attempt. Remember that?
Who is he addressing there? Hold on.
Counsel, address the jury, please.
Said, their witnesses.
Who is he addressing? Was he addressing the prosecution? Does he tell him not to speak to the cameras? We couldn't even see what he was doing. I love this judge, though. I fucking love this judge. I think this judge is like so he looks like such a Massachusetts judge, like Sullivan. Of course, this guy looks like a Sullivan. He looks like every Sullivan I've ever seen. He's probably got like 8 brothers and sisters. His mom, is a sweetheart. His dad worked 16-hour shifts just to make it in this country. They lived in a little 3-bedroom house in Mattapan they grew up in. And all they wanted was a better life for their kids. And now the 8 Sullivan kids, they're killing it. And one of them is a judge and another one's a doctor. And I love this judge. I think this judge is great he does have a great head of hair. For a man his age too, you got to give it to him. And he's just like, counts, come on. He's not cunty. He doesn't have that cunty in him. And that's not saying that Cannoni's a cunt because she's a woman. Judge Crump is a cunt too. Like they're cunts. There's a lot of cunts in the judiciary in this state. I'm just saying. This is where Alan Jackson is far superior. He's a great orator. I do. This is good. So far, it's good. He's getting to the point. But to me, this whole case is just like, is she crazy or is she not? He's like basically saying, look at these pictures. She's a loving mother. She's got no record. To me, all the evidence in this case doesn't change a thing. You'll never, ever convince me that Lindsay Clancy is a cold-blooded murderer who just wanted to eliminate her kids. For what reason, I don't know. I don't even know what the prosecution theory is, like why. To me, it's just so, they're going to have the psychosis. Was she in psychosis? Was she not in psychosis? The prosecution say not because she didn't hear voices enough. Blah, blah, blah. We've all heard all the testimony. I get it. I don't care. You can't convince me that this woman, this loving mother, who has zero history of violence, everybody likes her, that she just decided to slaughter her whole family. For what reason, I don't know. It just makes zero sense to me. To me, the burden on the prosecution is harder than it is on the defense, and it's kind of not in dispute that she slaughtered the children. Now, what to do with that is the question, but I don't believe for a second that this woman wasn't suffering from some sort of mental illness that convinced her that this was a good idea for some reason. I don't know. I just find that very difficult to believe. I can't believe how big this trial is. I never thought this trial was going to be so big, but I think it's going to be a hung jury. I definitely think it's going to be a hung jury. That's my There was no this. It's too polarizing, man. Look at the opinions online of people. They haven't picked a jury yet either, and the reporters will be able to tell us which jurors they picked, won't they? The judge went. He went to Notre Dame and BC. I would guess he went to Notre Dame. Let's look at him. Like, look at this guy. I guarantee this guy's like me. On Saturdays in the fall, clear the schedule. Notre Dame football's on. Of course he did. Except when they played BC, there's a conflict there. But he's a Notre Damer. You know, his kids are going to Notre Dame. He's the Irish Catholic Bostonian through and through. Okay. Let me get back to this.
Serious suicide attempt. Remember that? Tried to kill himself. So another back off on that, and they'll agree. A serious suicide attempt. That's why I say, watch the evidence. Watch the manipulation. Remember the argument with the bands. She took the bands out of the bag, put the gloves on, talks to the doctor, left beside her on the Zoom, slams the bands down out of the paper bag, does the movement of the bands and yells at left beside her and says, "Wrapped. We just wrapped. You weren't knotted because you gotta get Lindsay tightening the band, right? You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it for a minute. You gotta hold it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. That's why she needed the bands, not knotted. And then she said, it's like this. And they sprang open. Remember that? Dr. Lapasada said, yeah, I saw what you did. And she walked away like if the gloves won't fit moment. Quarter number 2. What did Patrick Clancy testify to? You heard his testimony. He indicated clearly, unequivocally, they were knotted around the necks of those children to the point where he had to struggle. And it's your memory, not mine. If I say something you don't recall, forget it. It's what you remember the evidence to be. But clearly, I would suggest, he struggled to get it off of Dawson's over his head. And the police officer saw through the window. It's horrific stuff. But it's objective. And it shows the manipulation. This government, this prosecution is a mess. They would take their evidence and argue to you that she did not tie a knot and walk away. Because as Dr. Lapasada said, you're talking about 4 or 5 seconds, so somebody passes out. No, they're going to have the 4 minutes. And that's not what the evidence shows, is it? So, as we move on, Lindsay's in the hospital. And this whole thing about conversations, and she's talking to people, and the kids are in the basement, her throat was crushed. You heard the 911 team. You draw the inference, whether or not there's a conversation about where the children are. Try to kill myself, kids are in the basement, all that. You determined whether or not that was something that could be discerned. And the police investigation, because as His Honor indicates, there are two things here. Number one, proof beyond a reasonable doubt that she's guilty. And number two, proof beyond a reasonable doubt that she was not suffering from a disease or defect, as His Honor instructed you at the time of these killings. Those are the two things they have to prove. And when the police charge somebody with a criminal offense, they have an obligation to investigate. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about, well, we've got the charges are before the court, you can sit there in the court, you can feel proud of yourself. Do a good investigation. You even know what this, you'll see the photograph of the cup and the powder. What is it? They don't even analyze it. Did they take pictures? Did they analyze? Did they test the blood? Did they? Lousy investigation of this. Well, that's okay because she was guilty. And they put her in the hospital. And she's the evil woman who killed the 3 innocent kids. And they're going to stand there while she's chained to the bed, paralyzed. You heard testimony from Dr. Zeisel. They weren't little fluffy cuffs that were securing her to the bed. They were handcuffs, not the medical treatment. Medical treatment would be, like restraints, so you don't do whatever, pull lines out and things. We're talking about when the big men were in there with their guns and their badges and they're sitting outside the door, and they're going to make sure that Lindsay Clancy, paralyzed, chained to the bed, doesn't get up and run away from the hospital, I guess, and they just have to suffer their way through. I guess I work 8 hours, I had another shift, I had to work that night. This is the treatment. And what's important about that is what kind of treatment did this young lady get from the healthcare providers? Remember Meg Collins? She came in this court, Meg, you might remember. Tall woman, short blonde hair, squared away. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. She was not only a nurse taking care of her in the hospital, she advocated for her. She stood up for her patient. She protected her. During the pandemic, you know that Meg Collins was in that emergency room when half of us were hiding at home behind our computers, hoping that we're not going to die in a week, drinking that Chardonnay at 11 o'clock in the morning. Meg Collins was in a hospital treating people and advocating for them. That's an example of what nursing is all about. not having attitude, not treating somebody like they're to be.
Drinking a Chardonnay at 11 in the morning. He needs to slow down. It's a 1.5 speed, Carol. Relax. He's not going that fast, I promise. But he's painting a picture here. It's like it's such a simple case when you get down to it. She killed her kids, and she's either crazy or not crazy. But he's just painting this picture of like, you got to be nuts to think she's a normal mom. Like Lindsay Clancy was a normal mom who slaughtered her kids. She was. And I don't know. They're just so polarizing. When I see the opinions about this online, it's so much different from the retrial. It's just so. People make good points on each side. They really do. It's very hard to get past what you did. It's very hard to get past that. Oh, here's my question that nobody asked. This came to my head yesterday. And this is a pro-prosecution take, so I apologize, but it just came to my head. I don't know why I thought this. What if Lindsay Clancy was suffering from postpartum depression and the voices in her head told her to slaughter someone else's kids? Would anyone have sympathy for her then if she did that? What? Because, I don't know, I just thought about that. That came to me. That was an original thought. I didn't like get that online or anything like that. It just came to me. And I'm like, because it's like a big reason that everybody is supporting her. It's just like, yo, she did that to her own kid. That's fucking crazy. Oh my God. Like, poor lady, her headspace to do something like that. That's crazy, right? And usually when children are killed, who's the victim? Who's the ultimate, like, sympathetic victim? The mother, the parents of the kid, right? Like, kids die. You know what I mean? If kids die, then the mother is going to be like crying in court. My kids are dead. I'm so sad. And no one would have any sympathy for the person that killed their kids. No one would give a shit if they were suffering from postpartum depression. They wouldn't care, right? Nobody would care. So it's interesting that being in a state of psychosis like this, if she was, right? Let's say she was in a state of psychosis. If voices were telling her to do this, that's forgivable as long as you just kill your own kids. You can't kill other people's kids. If you kill other people's kids, no one's going to give a shit if you're suffering from postpartum psychosis. No one cares. There would be zero sympathy whatsoever if she killed someone else's kids. Because what she's saying, she's doing what the voices in her head commanded her to, right? The voices in her head are commanding her to kill her kids. What if the voices in her head told her to kill someone else's kids? Would anyone have any sympathy? I don't know. That's just something I thought of today. But anyway, back to this.
Sustained. And what's even worse, she comes out of a coma. She is intubated. She has had major surgery of her broken, crushed spine, vertebrae, rib, thyroid. Massive, not my words, medical records, massive testimony, blood transfusion for the blood loss. And when someone, you've heard evidence, comes out of surgery, they're delusional. You've had anesthesia. Think about having a tooth pulled. Think about the trauma that somebody has when they're in a hospital bed, laying there, paralyzed, unable to feel the lower half of their body, but able to feel with the meds and the pain medication and everything else, the damage to the spine. And then the hospital has a meeting. Remember the other doctor, I think it was Dr. Shah, Indian woman? Wicked impressive. She was amazing. She had the facts. She was able to tell you exactly what she observed. He was able to tell you what they were doing to treat Lindsay. She treated her like a human being. She was a damn good doctor. Came in here and told you all of her observations about her and told you one of the things that ultimately that they were concerned about is they had to have this big confabulation about, we're going to take her off the healthcare process. They had to have lawyers. They had to have people there. They had to have her signing documents. They had to determine whether or not she was going to be signing something to have her parents take over because Pat was not going to be responsible for her care. Lawyers, cops, handcuffs. Do I need a lawyer? Write that down. Where are you? You're out there somewhere. Write that down. Why? She wanted a lawyer. That's a bad thing. Must be guilty. Let's put that in the guilty pile. That's why she said that in a delirious state, dealing with all of these people about that issue. But what's even more nefarious As you think about it, as I said, your eye on the ball because of the manipulation. Paul Zeisel, big deal. I'm friends with the guy. You heard evidence that I called him. I was with Pat a night or two after this incident in the bedroom with all the blood. I was with Pat taking evidence that the police didn't even see in their thorough investigation. And I was able, as you know now, certainly, to grab this. Why wouldn't the police have grabbed this? They're all empty. You can see when they were prescribed. You can see what they are. You can see what she took. You heard the testimony. It's tough to take a handful of pills. Remember the guy saying that yesterday? Tough to take a handful of pills. Well, no, they were crushed. Oh, shit, they were crushed. Okay. Where's the residue? Where's the crusher? Where's anything? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Great investigation, guys. So you have a situation where they leave this behind. They don't even look at it. One of them, and again, you'll never know. One of them testifies, well, they might have looked at it and saw it and just didn't seize it. Seriously? They go down to the kitchen, they seized every pill bottle that was in the cabinet, along with the books. And speaking of books, one of the things that they found, smoking gun. Good moms have scary thoughts. Hallelujah. Put that in the guilty pile. We're going to put this in a plastic bag. We're going to show it to a jury so they know that this young lady had scary thoughts. Turns out that Shalata gave it to her. So you have this evidence. You have evidence of sleep aids. You have evidence in the bag. Because obviously this stuff was just thrown in there. It wasn't in a bag when I saw it inside this thing here and we seized it. And we held it for 3.5 years. Anybody care about it? No. You had evidence that police knew that I had it. They could have it. They could look at it. They could analyze it. Do whatever they wanted. They didn't have to. This here. You heard evidence. This is a little wish jar that they bought on their honeymoon in Hawaii many years prior to even having kids. And when you look inside it, you see that there's all sorts of little folded up pieces of paper. Some of them are dated, some of them aren't. They go all the way back to 2017, 2018, 20. And they reference her wishes to have healthy kids, her wishes for her kids to be successful, her wishes to have a good birth. Second time around, hoping for a good birth, worrying about the child with I forget where they rubbed the thing like. This woman lived for her kids until she had the pleasure of running into Dr. Tufts of her 2 months experience. And after she ran into Dr. Tufts, it was not a wonderful life anymore. And what did Dr. Tufts do? And everybody laughs at me. I said the television. Okay, I know it's a telemedical thing on your telephone or on a Zoom. Take more pills. You have the medical records. You heard the testimony. You know her concerns. You know her fears. Does this seem like a young lady that didn't care and wanted to score more drugs off somebody? That's another repulsive allegation. I think the evidence is pretty clear. There's no basis for that at all. She was scared. September into October of 22. Young, vibrant, hardworking. You've heard all this, not my words, witnesses' words. Holding goals for herself. Hardworking nurse, hardworking mother, would take the kids to the Kingsbury Club. That's another thing. Sounds pretty snooty, doesn't it? Oh, they're at the Kingsbury Club. It's a swimming pool and a place where you can exercise. Watch the manipulation. Because now you've got a situation where you've got manipulation with the Kingsbury Club, you've got manipulation with these other items here, and you've also got manipulation of Paul Zeisel. Told Lindsay what to say. Say that you're hearing voices. Think about how ugly that is. Because you know, beyond a reasonable doubt, even though we don't have any proof, you have no burden. You heard from Sheila. Remember Sheila, the woman that's the reverend or whatever, she's the chaplain at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. She didn't know Lindsay from anybody that night when she came in all broken up. And she told you that she continued. She was there when Lindsay came out of, was extubated. She was there when Lindsay was going through her treatments. She was there for 8 days before Paul Zeisel even knew Lindsay existed. But they would be in here telling you that Lindsay saw the psychologist because the lawyer went and got the psychologist to go and speak to her. And then you have these guys here, the cops. They're having meetings, talking about it. They're talking about it. Must have been the shrink. Must have been the psychologist. Must have been Zeisel. He's the guy that told her what to say, and he did not. How can you ruin a man's reputation with the career that he has had and still has, thankfully, to put him in a position where he tells a broken young woman who is vilified by our society for killing her 3 children, that he goes in the hospital and tells her to say she heard voices? Disgusting. So now you know that she told Sheila first that she heard voices. Command hallucination. She didn't say command hallucination. I heard voices. It was a male voice. Told me you had these other guys that came in. The government's rebuttal witnesses, very, very impressive, very, very impressive. The first two, Mac, we're gonna say, you've got the other doctor as well. So Mac is, why he was freaked out when I asked him where he stayed. And the other guy looked at me like his eyes were bugging. Why did I ask where he stayed? Whatever. Point is, they don't see her for years. And why? The other guy, Halbern, I think it was Halbern, he had to wait until maybe it was the last name, I forget. They had to process his payment from the DA's office to the school. Who cares? If you have an obligation to try and be objective, to try and even look as though you're competent and objective, why would you wait for so long? Why would you go with another guy? Why would you take this young lady and have her in a room and question her one right after the other? Wouldn't you like to sit there and be questioned by Dr. Mack? Boy, that'd be an experience for 3 hours, 4 hours. And the other guy is going to pepper his questions at her as well between that period. The next day, she can take tests and then go back at it again with Mack and with Halbern. And she was cooperative. She was pleasant. She was friendly. She answered the questions and she owned what she did. Right? She never ran from anything. She's gone through evaluation after evaluation after evaluation. Recorded, you'll have the video to look at as they're questioning her, as she's sitting there in her wheelchair, hour after hour after hour, 3 years after this incident, but that's okay. You're busy. Paul Zeisel was there, literally, in Brigham and Women's, because I called him. Because I was asked to represent this young lady, who heard evidence. I saw her in the hospital. I saw her laying in the bed broken. I saw her laying in the bed practically dead. I reached out to Dr. Zeisel, and I asked him, please, can you talk to this woman? Concerned, as he testified, for her mental well-being. What kind of demons, what kind of horror was in her mind as she lay there paralyzed and hurting and medicated, swollen, tubes, pops, chains. He went and talked to her. Big deal. I asked him to go. You judge the credibility of a person. Did Paul Zeisel have the ring of truth when he told you that he's there out of humane feeling to try to help this young lady? And he's been by her side for 3.5 years. Same thing with Sheila. Why would Sheila, for all this time, visit with Lindsay as she testified at the Tewksbury Hospital? She's not getting paid. She's not a hired gun. She's not somebody that's coming in to say something at my request. She loves Lindsay. He's a good kid. He's a beautiful soul. So you have Zeisel that has been with her all that time. You've got Sheila, who's been with her all that time. You've got evidence that her mom and dad who live in Connecticut come up and they stay and they visit with her and that they sit with her. And God forbid, they actually sometimes have dinner. Remember that? They got the Tewksbury records. Boy, there's a good score. Let's go through the Tewksbury records and see what she's doing on the anniversary of the deaths. How about on their birthdays? Can you see them sitting there going through the medical records? Okay, doctor, what did she do then? She propelled herself down the hallway, met with her parents, laughed, had dinner, watched TV, talked on the telephone. God forbid. She's not curled up in the fetal position, wailing, self-flagellating constantly. For 3.5 years, she's acting like a human being trying to exist. But they go through the records and they want to get those dates and use them against her manipulation. And then you consider, we're 3 weeks away from a trial. The guy yesterday is looking up to the heavens while he's testifying. Caesar tells you that he wanted to establish a rapport. Can you imagine? You know that you're 3 weeks away from your murder trial, and you know that this is doctor number 3 who's been hired by the government to come in and evaluate you and testify against you. He's going to establish a rapport. There was no rapport, but yet she was cooperative, she was friendly. Interestingly enough, just like the treating doctors don't talk to each other, they don't communicate with each other, they don't have access to medical records. She signs the HIPAA forms. They don't know what her records are, but they know for sure what Dr. Resnick had in his report. They know for sure what Dr. Zeisel had in his report. They know for sure what Meg Spinelli had in her report, and they incorporate that into their report. But then you have the MMPI and the other psychological tests that were administered to her on the second day of the Mac Halbern team interviewing, interrogating, questioning her. She passes the MMPI. Testimony is presented. She answered the MMPI honestly. And they're pertaining to state of mind. They're pertaining to questions about what occurred. They're questioning this young lady as to what her state of mind was then, in the middle, and now. And she didn't lie. She didn't malinga. She didn't exaggerate. And more importantly, if anything, she minimizes. But she certainly was off the chart on the suicide scale. And then you have testimony from Dr. Resnick, Dr. Zeisel, Dr. Carter, and they were paid for their testimony. We're all paid. Like I said, not the jury so much, the judge himself, Chrissy, everybody gets paid. These doctors came in and testified Phil Resnick. The man is something out of a scary movie. He has the world record of investigating, examining, and treating people in psychosis that kill their children, filicide. He has a world-renowned record for checking fakers to see if a person is malingering. Their doctor agreed that his article on Voices is a leading article with research in the world. Their doctor agreed that he, Bill Resnick, is an expert on malingering. You heard him testify by Zoom because he had surgery. He showed up by Zoom and testified that, again, 4 months after this incident, he met with Lindsay, he evaluated Lindsay, compared, looked at all the records, just like all the rest of them, everyone says, they looked at all the records, the police reports, grand jury minutes, everything else. He indicates clearly, in his opinion, that she was in a state of psychosis at the time of this death, times 3. Has any of the government doctors rebutted that? One of them, Halvin, said it's possible either way. That's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. The other one, Mac, you can accept his testimony if you wish, but I suggest that you probably won't. And then you're left with the doctor yesterday, who didn't even know what killing during the course of psychosis was. And when I was questioning him about it, he agreed. And I said, don't just agree with me. You're just agreeing with me because I said that? He basically said, yeah. What kind of expert testimony is this? It's a mess. But the government uses them to try to rebut a man like Phil Resnick, who tells you that she was suffering from a horrific mental disease and defect at the time of the killing of her beautiful children. Why? The how? And the fact that under the law, as His Honor has given you, she's not criminally responsible. And the burden is on them right here. Prove to you that at the time of the killing,
I'm going to pause it right there because we're all caught up now. I'm just going to read some turtle chats because I like to get back to 1.5 speed. Okay. And by the way, if anyone else wants their turtle chat read, link is in the comments. Link is at the chat, bottom of the chat. Bradford sends $25, or you can cash at me $1 Uncle Turtleboy. We can do it that way. Bradford sends 25 smackaroos. He goes, people should come in Turtleboy themed costumes in characters from FKR Ratchets. If I would recommend that. Actually, that'd be kind of funny if people in the audience came as, but just no masks. That's all we ask. Like, somebody's got to come as Cryford. We got to have a Cryford there. Somebody has to do it. There's so many people. We need a Julie Carpenter. Oh, there's so many good ones we can have. Thank you. Roxanne sends 10 and goes, Turtleboy, you're killing me. It's so early, but turtle time is BJ time. Okay. And I'm committed to the bit. So here we go. You don't need to read this part. Okay. Oh, but I'm the one who started blowing her boyfriend during the show a few weeks ago. I remember. How can I forget you, Roxanne? You're an American goddamn hero. Thank you for doing your civic duty. Turtleboy job is great job. Setting a good example for the ladies. Thank you very much. Turtleboy gets you laid. Your boyfriend will like my show a lot more if you blow him during it. I'm just saying. It only makes sense. Just saying. Aunt Val sends $10, goes, me and my girl were planning to get a hotel room in Boston for your trial, but it's obviously hard to figure out dates because December 1 is just a tentative date, if I recall. December 7th is jury selection. But like, for instance, how will we book a date if we want to see the Jen McCabe cross by Bettero? Exactly. There's no way to know in advance. But now we checked our work schedules and want to plan to come to your show October 30th. Very excited. Is there any way to watch the last one at the Wilbur? No, I don't even have the footage. I've never watched it. The doc guys got it. So thank you for that. Next. And yes, it is going to be difficult, but what are you going to do? It starts, this jury selection begins December 7th. I don't know how long that's going to take, but we'll see. All right, next. This trial is all going to come down to jury selection. We got to pick a good jury. Rosaline sends $10, goes, Dr. Turtleboy, those cards are definitely creepy. Please don't touch them. You don't know what could be on them to possibly make you sick. One thing for sure, they aren't from Jeffica. He doesn't write or send cards. That's so true. Speaking of, I saw somebody sent me this meme. Flipper sent it. Gotta give him credit. This is excellent meme. This is real quick. Dude, where's my son? I can't. It's funny because it's true. He's such a deadbeat. Just look at him. And Machado's like, oh my God, I can't wait for that guy to plow me. It's gonna be so hot when that guy plows me. That guy right there. I want him to plow me. Oh, give it to me. Give it to me, Jessica. Give it to me. Yeah, it's like I'm worth it, right? You lost your wife. You mean you lost your home, your mother, and your son, but it's all worth it because you get the whole Machado, the whole Ancha Machado. Okay, you get it. It's all yours, baby. The whole Ancha Machado. All right. Anyway, back to this. Let me refresh this. Yes, that's what Rosine said. They said the cards are creepy. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna be very careful with those. And I'm glad I brought those to your attention because sometimes it's good to get a second opinion. I get crazy shit like that all the time, but now it's just getting weird. Okay. Do we have any cash apps here? Because Reddington was just getting to the good part. Big Red, as they call him. Deborah sends $20 and goes, going to Miami for the Pats game. Sorry. Oh, is that oh, well, sorry. We're going to miss it, but have a great time with the Pats. The Dolphins are supposed to be real bad this year, too. So Stephanie sent $10 at the end of yesterday's stream and says, Team Turtle, always. Amen, baby. All right, back to this.
Dr. Resident says she was suffering from a disease or defect. As Dr. Manzel said, she was suffering from a disease or defect. As Dr. Condi said, she was suffering from a disease or defect, and Condi took you down the road of all of these medications as a psychopharmacologist, as a doctor that specializes in prescription medications. And you got the evidence. So you're able to look at that and determine, see what the side effects are, what she was complaining of, and look at her records. I mean, they have really turned her inside out. I mean, they've got every single text, every single email, every single picture, everything that she did in college. Oh, that's another thing. She lied, according to the guy yesterday. She lied to Pat about being on Prozac. They were dating for 3 months. She's living in Boston. She meets this kid. She thinks that she might like him, and they're dating. Oh, excuse me, before you go out with me, let me tell you that about a year ago when I was studying for my exams, because I'm nervous about talking in public, I got on Prozac. Seriously, that's what the government is arguing in this case. You're going to have this journal, which talks about her being, this is how controlling she was, manipulation. In the opening statement, you may recall that the district attorney said that she was a hard, charging, manipulating woman that was controlling, and everything in their life was controlled, and she ran it to the water, to the carrots, to the beets. You look in this book, and as you might recall, Ms. Rossi testified when asked, did you feel that she was being controlling of you? Because she says, for example, Monday, 10:24, Kellen, put down for a nap. Hopefully we'll nap for 2 hours. If he wakes shortly, let him resettle himself. Bottle when he wakes up. Then it goes on and on. Make salad, romaine lettuce. He likes peppers, broccoli. Cut the sweet potatoes in chunks. Thank you, with the heart. Another good score. You look at her journals that she took. You'll see, as you go along, in the dates that she's recording in these journals, she's talking about the drugs that she was prescribed. And look at the first page. Look at how detailed. Dates, how she felt, 10 milligrams Prozac, and it goes on like that, goes on through November into December. December 9th, 10th, 11th. Horrible intrusive thoughts. Horrible thoughts in the AM. Horrible thoughts. Horrible thoughts. No motivation. And then finally, horrible thoughts, no motivation, deeply depressed. Then that's around the time she went to Women and Infants Hospital, right? Looking for help. Look at this. As she runs into January, there's nothing other than little chicken scratches because her mind was gone. In January, as she's on these drugs and she's suffering from what you've heard is postpartum depression that can lead to postpartum psychosis, and you have these men coming in here that don't even know psychosis from schizophrenia as experts, telling you that if a woman doesn't have these symptoms, like it's a disease, symptoms of postpartum depression within 4 weeks, that's it. Lights out. You're not a person that can be considered. You're not a real person for purposes of.
He's playing the woman card now. He's just like, you're gonna let these men come in here, these doctors, talk about postpartum. They don't know shit. This because he's smart, man. He knows this. This is a man-woman issue. That's why it's gonna be a hung jury. There's 6 men and 12 women on the jury. Odds are it's gonna, statistically speaking, if this is done fairly, it should end up 8-4. I mean, that's just the odds. That's proportional. It could be 9-3. Could be 7-5. But odds are, if you were to pick 12 random jurors at any given point, the most frequent one that would come up is 8-4. That'd be the most. It's not a guaranteed to be 8-4. It could be 7-5. It could be 12 women. It could be 6-6. Those are the possibilities. But he knows women are much more likely, I think, to have any sympathy for Lindsay Clancy. Much. I mean, you see it on social media. This is the many women think she's guilty. Many women. Right? But the vast majority of men, I feel like, definitely think she's guilty. That's just from what I've seen. Okay? I'm a softie, so I'm different. But I think she's not guilty by a reason as standing. That's just me. Back to this.
Postpartum depression and or postpartum psychosis. Well, I suggest that he's wrong. I suggest the second guy's wrong and the third guy. Well, actually, I don't even know. It's your memory. If the gentleman, Mac, even knew, I think he said 4 weeks. It can go up to a year or longer. But we don't really know because you heard the evidence. There's no evidence. There's nothing in the DSM, but that's the Bible. God forbid you should go to Europe. You should look at the World Health Organization records. You should look at the way they treat pregnant women that have problems with their children. No, we're the most advanced country in the world. But we still have doctors that come into court on a murder trial and talk about 4-week cutoff on something that they don't even know exists. They've never treated it. They've never written about it. You have terrorism experts. You have an expert that comes in and talks about his focus and his interests, and it's about juveniles and drugs. And like I said, kids that like to drink and smoke weed. Those are the experts, quote unquote, to support their burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Lindsay was not suffering from a disease or defect at the time that she killed her children. You all remember this. October. This is not an evidence, it's micro identification. It's too big. So, but basically it shows clearly and unequivocally the depths of despair that this young kid was in, trying to raise 3 kids, trying to be a wife, ready to go back to work. Did anyone say that she was just lazy or just didn't want to go back to work? Manipulation. They're arguing. She didn't want to go back to work. She didn't want to go back to work because she didn't want to leave her kids, especially Callan, because she loved her children. They were her life. Manipulation. And when you consider the journals, I don't know, you ever watched the movie there, The Shining, with Jack Nicholson. Remember the scene when he's sitting there in a state of complete psychosis, and he's writing a book and he's typing, and the wife finds the book and opens it up and looks at it and says, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Repeated after repeated after repeated. And he says, do you like it? You look at the records of her Googling drugs. You look at how many times, how many hours of the night in the afternoon she's looking this stuff up, in between taking care of the family, in between all of the stuff that was going on with visiting doctors, seeing doctors, going to Rhode Island, being told, no, we can't help you, calling a suicide hotline, we can't help you, calling another suicide hotline, we can't help you. My God, what does she have to do? She was reaching out for help, and she was not getting it. She turns herself in to McLean Hospital. You saw the doctor, nice one. She's testifying. She didn't know. I suggest to you that she didn't know hardly anything, let alone psychosis involving a young lady like her going through what she was going through. The government bears the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. They bring, for example, Ian Whiffen. The guy, you might remember him, was the guy that's, I guess he developed or helped develop Celebrate. But you got, when you look at the records, you don't measure on an Apple Watch. Well, I shouldn't say Apple Watch because we know that they didn't have the Apple Watch, but on a cell phone. You don't measure going down the stairs. You measure stair climbing, right? That's what the testimony was. And there were 3 stairs that were climbed. Okay. The last record is 5:38. At 5:38 p.m., we went through that on cross. What happens to the phone? Don't know. It was on the bed. Was it dropped on the bed and left there for 20 minutes? She could have been anywhere in the house during all that period of time, right? You've got a compressed period of time that Patrick leaves to go to the restaurant to pick up the CV, and oh, you heard the guy yesterday say, and then she sent him off to go to CVS. It's on the way. It's on the way. She didn't want him out of the house long. She was in distress. She wanted him home to help with the baby, to help with the kids, to help putting them to bed. How long is he going to be gone? She Googles it. Is that something that is so nefarious? You think that goes right along the line with the book about good mothers having bad thoughts. My God, she actually Googled the time frame that Patrick would take to go to 3B and pick up the food and then leave and stop at CVS on the way. So I guess the government is suggesting she's not in a psychosis. So she's Googling Miralax because the doctor earlier that day told her that the baby Cora needed Miralax. Why would she do that? Because remember the government's opening when they told you she wasn't suffering from a psychosis. She was a woman that didn't want to live her life anymore, wasn't happy being a mother, didn't want to live that life. So she's going to kill her kids and hopefully throw herself out the window and not paralyze herself, and then she could run off into the sunset, I guess. That's what their theory was, along with the fact it wasn't a real good suicide, it was fake. Well, now we know, don't we? The mess that this young lady was in her brain, my brain is being damaged. I will never be better. That's the evidence. That's the evidence that we have in this case. The burden of proof is on them to prove to you that at the time that she killed these 3 beautiful kids, that she just wanted to move on with her life. And I suggest to you, just as there's no chicken nugget residue, and then when you look at those photographs, there's a slice of a cucumber, there's a slice of a carrot, there's no chicken nuggets in that bowl. Patrick wouldn't know what the kids were eating. She was the one that would cook their dinner. She was in the refrigerator, but the guy yesterday is like, oh, no. Patrick said that the child was eating the chicken McNuggets in the bowl. No, she was getting food out for the 2 kids, not the little baby, 2 kids for dinner. There's no evidence that she's lying. There's no evidence that she's malingering. And finally, remember, there was a big deal about whether or not the voices are within the head or whether or not they're outside of the head. Dr. Resnick's article with the largest research on voices malingering in the world indicates that 38% of almost 1,000 people that were examined report voices from inside their head. And it stops. You're going to buy that guy yesterday? He doesn't know what he's talking about. This young lady is not guilty of the killing of her children because she was suffering from a disease and defect, as His Honor instructed you. And they're not going to be able to prove otherwise. And it's their burden, not ours. Thank you.
All right, come on.
So what do we think? I mean, pretty good. I mean, that's kind of what I expected. You got the point there. I mean, he brought up the Google searches. I mean, there was an interesting point he made about, like, you know, they often point to the fact that she called him. She searched how long it would take for him to be gone. All that shit. That's evidence of premeditation. He had an explanation for that. He was like, yeah, she was searching because she wanted it back. She wanted to see how long, you know, I don't know. So, I mean, I could definitely buy that. You know, if I'm a juror, we'll listen to some of the prosecutor. Everybody hates this chick. Is it going to be Bo Lady or the fat chick? They both look like they're like team shot put. Like, put these 2 chicks, like, as a track coach, I'm just telling you right now. Give me these 2 prosecutors and Julie Nagel, and we have the ultimate shot put relay team. No one's beating us. No one's beating us at all. I'm telling you. Anyway, listen to some more of this.
There's no dispute that Lindsay Clancy was suffering from mental illness and that she tried to kill herself. There's no dispute about that. All of the evidence that you've heard, even the experts that the Commonwealth put before you, say that she was suffering from mental illness and she tried to kill herself. That's not the issue in this trial. The issue is whether, at the time she killed Cora, Dawson, and Callan, she knew the difference between right and wrong, and whether she could conform her behavior to the requirements of the law. This case is not about our mental health system or how it treats women or what's in the DSM-5 and what's not. That's a distraction to get you angry and passionate about an important issue, but an issue that's not on trial here. What's on trial here, what the issue is here, is what Lindsay Clancy did the night of January 24th, 2023, and what her mental state was at the time. And you can use her psychological history and records, the treatment records, to look at both before and after she killed the kids, to look at how she got to that.
Time out. So again, didn't watch much of this case. Why are we saying this? People are like, she's singing a new tune now. That's not what you said. Again, talk to me like I know shit because I know nothing. What? So she's saying that she's not disputing that she's in a fucked up state. She's like, it doesn't matter because that's not what's on trial here, right? That she seems to be stipulating to these facts. Melanie Little's gonna lose her fucking mind. Is she live talking about this? She's gonna lose her mind when she hears that.
Oh, baby, 2 kids for dinner.
Okay. All right. Let's play some more. So interesting. Okay. So brand new.
Point, what her thought process was, what her motivation was. But it's not the system or the DSM or any of that that caused her to strangle her kids. In fact, she had more access to treatment and care and support than a lot of people do. She had health insurance that covered multiple doctors, multiple specialty programs, treatment at South Shore, at Mass General, her stay at McLean. She had prescription coverage to cover the different trials she went through. She had support at home. She had 18 weeks of maternity leave with the opportunity to extend that as much as she needed, which is excellent, which is what all women should have. But she had that. She had support from both sides of her family, hers and Patrick's. The 2 older kids, Cora and Dawson, were in preschool 3.5 days a week. And she had the nanny, Elaine, who helped with Callan 3 mornings a week. And she also helped her with housework and with food prep. This wasn't a woman suffering from a lack of care, a lack of resources. She had an abundance of help, an abundance of care. She had all of that and more. And, this doesn't mean that she wasn't struggling, that she wasn't dealing with mental health issues. She was. She had depression. And whether that's from bipolar or major depressive disorder or postpartum depression, it all boils down to she was depressed, right? And she was trying to deal with that, trying to get help for that. But it wasn't the fault of the providers that she was struggling with this or that she wasn't getting better. They were doing the best they could. You have the record, you heard the testimony. They were doing the best they could with the information she provided them. And that wasn't always accurate information. That wasn't always the full picture. And they were doing the best they could with her level of cooperation and compliance with the plan. Take her medications. You know from the records and from the pill bottles what she was prescribed and how she was supposed to take those medications. And you know from the pill bottles what she actually took. And sometimes those 2 things didn't align with what she told her providers, what she told Patrick, what she told her mother. You take the Zoloft, for example. The prescription was for 1 25 milligram pill a day for 7 days, and then to go up to the 50 milligrams after 7 days. She told Dr. Tufts that she took the pills as prescribed for 7 days, went up on the 8th day to 50 milligrams, and that's when she had the insomnia and the other side effects and symptoms. She told Patrick that she took the pills for 7 days and they had no effect, so she called Dr. Tufts, who then told her to increase the dose. Well, you know what she told Patrick is not accurate because the pill bottle says, take it for a week and then increase it. That was the plan from the beginning. That wasn't the result of a phone call to Dr. Tufts. And you know what she told Dr. Tufts isn't accurate either because only 7 pills were taken from the bottle. So that leaves you 2 options. Either she took the medication as prescribed, 1 pill a day for 7 days, and then didn't increase it, which she says is what caused the side effects and the insomnia, or what she did was not take it as prescribed. She didn't do it 7 days and ease into it and then increase it. She either missed a dose or increased it early before she was supposed to.
I'm going to jump over to Melanie's right now and watch Melanie just for a few minutes. I want to see her. Now that she's caught up, I want to see her reaction to this whole thing.
Is what Lindsay Clancy did.
The large improvement of what?
From what the evidence showed and how ridiculous their theory was and how their theory keeps changing. Let's see if the Commonwealth, ADA, whoever it is, can tie all of that up in a bow. His closing did turn out to be just shy of an hour. He was about 5 minutes shy of an hour. And that was magical, some of you were saying. Excellent, stunning, tied it all together in a bow. He did. Let's see who does their closing and whether they can do it better. What does the poly market say on this? What are the odds that she's going to do better than him or than he did? Here we go. Commonwealth closing.
There's no dispute that Lindsay Clancy was suffering from mental illness and that she tried to kill herself. There's no dispute about that. All of the evidence that you've heard, even the experts that the Commonwealth put before you, say that she was suffering from mental illness and she tried to kill herself. That's not the issue in this trial. The issue is whether, at the time she killed Cora, Dawson, and Callan, she knew the difference between right and wrong, and whether she could conform her behavior to the requirements of the law. This case is not about our mental health system or how it treats women or what's in the DSM-5 and what's not. That's a distraction to get you angry and passionate about an important issue, but an issue that's not on trial here. What's on trial here, what the issue is here, is what Lindsay Clancy did the night of January 24th, 2023, and what her mental state was at the time. And you can use her psychological history and records, the treatment records, to look at both before and after she killed the kids, to look at how she got to that point, what her thought process was, what her motivation was. But it's not the system or the DSM or any of that that caused her to strangle her kids. In fact, she had more access to treatment and care and support than a lot of people do. She had health insurance that covered multiple doctors, multiple specialty programs, treatment at South Shore, at Mass General, her stay at McLean. She had prescription coverage to cover the different trials she went through. She had support at home. She had 18 weeks of maternity leave with the opportunity to extend that as much as she needed, which is excellent, which is what all women should have. But she had that. She had support from both sides of her family, hers and Patrick's. The two older kids, Cora and Dawson, were in preschool 3.5 days a week. And she had the nanny, Elaine, who helped with Callan 3 mornings a week. And she also helped her with housework and with food prep. This wasn't a woman suffering from a lack of care, a lack of resources. She had an abundance of help, an abundance of care. She had all of that and more. And, you know, this doesn't mean that she wasn't struggling, that she wasn't dealing with mental health issues. She was. She had depression. And whether that's from bipolar or major depressive disorder or postpartum depression, it all boils down to she was depressed, right? And she was trying to deal with that, trying to get help for that. But it wasn't the fault of the providers that she was struggling with this or that she wasn't getting better. They were doing the best they could. You have the record, you heard the testimony. They were doing the best they could with the information she provided them. And that wasn't always accurate information. That wasn't always the full picture. And they were doing the best they could with her level of cooperation and compliance with the plan. Take her medications. You know from the records and from the pill bottles what she was prescribed and how she was supposed to take those medications. And you know from the pill bottles what she actually took. And sometimes those two things didn't align with what she told her providers, what she told Patrick, what she told her mother. You take the Zoloft, for example. The prescription was for 1 25 milligram pill a day for 7 days, and then to go up to the 50 milligrams after 7 days. She told Dr. Tufts that she took the pills as prescribed for 7 days, went up on the 8th day to 50 milligrams, and that's when she had the insomnia and the other side effects and symptoms. She told Patrick that she took the pills for 7 days and they had no effect, so she called Dr. Tufts, who then told her to increase the dose. Well, you know what she told Patrick is not accurate because the pill bottle says, take it for a week and then increase it. That was the plan from the beginning. That wasn't the result of a phone call to Dr. Tufts. And you know what she told Dr. Tufts isn't accurate either because only 7 pills were taken from the bottle. So that leaves you 2 options. Either she took the medication as prescribed, 1 pill a day for 7 days, and then didn't increase it, which she says is what caused the side effects and the insomnia, or what she did was not take it as prescribed. She didn't do it 7 days and ease into it and then increase it. She either missed a dose or increased it early before she was supposed to. Either scenario is not good. She knows as a nurse the importance of following the instructions of your medications. She knows how important it is to follow the plan and do what's on the bottle and do what.
Kevin's getting upset. Kevin's getting upset. George is getting upset. Kevin's getting upset. His face is turning red. He's looking at her like, are you kidding me? His head looks like it's going to pop off. If you can come to your screen to watch this for reaction purposes, please do safely.
Your provider tells you is to follow the plan and do what's on the bottle and do what your provider tells you and to give that accurate information to your provider. She didn't say, I went up a dose, went up to 50 too early. Maybe they could have adjusted that and tried the 25 milligram for longer and eased her into it.
All right. So anyway, we'll catch that all later on. So I got shit to do. But anyway, let me read a couple more turtle chats if we have any. No, we're good. Do we have any cash apps? No, we're good. Any members quizzically, there's free apps to create polls. Turtleboy, worth looking up. Okay, sounds good. Spacey Stacy says after party at the Encore again, most likely. Turtleboy was right, says listen, Turtle, sure we can turn it up, but the moment you play a clip, it will be way louder. Okay, good to know. Mary says Aiden J7 messes with black magic. Document and then bury those card and voodoo shit. Okay. And of course, J7 coming through with the 70 members today. Ooh, don't tell Machado. I won't tell her. I won't tell her. If you don't tell her, it could be a little secret. J7, thanks for supporting the grift. Mark is a new member. Welcome aboard. Pat is a new member. Awesome. Retired teacher is a new member. Great to see. All right, cool. The glare is here. Sorry. Hello and goodbye. We're actually heading out of here because nobody wants to hear my fucking thoughts on Lindsay. I don't know what the fuck to talk about. People just like be for the bullshit and other stuff, and they can't read stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna get going. We'll see what happens. Verdict today, probably not. I'm guessing my prediction, hung jury. I think it's gonna be a hung jury, but we'll see. Stranger things. I mean, the odds of a hung jury are slim. Most juries do not get hung, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Remember to take care of your kids. Don't be like Jessica Machado, and don't forget to brush your teeth as well. All right, we'll see you guys for Sex Call tonight. PC Bum Crease, outie.
Tick, 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 boom. Tick, 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 boom. Tick, 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 boom. Pressure build, detonate. Tick, boom. Too late now, can't moderate. Tick, just give me flash. Let's go. Everybody talking, nobody compose. You should've just let me be, but nah, you knew what I do. Who I am. You know who I am. Tick, tick, tick. Robbing and weaving where you telegraph hate. Flash bows pop every time I breathe. Whole world watching, enjoy no front row seats. Say my name, watch the algorithm screen. Turtleboy! You drama sales on the fumes of my pike tails. Free clickbait for all the mirror ultimate. Bum for town clownies. Better all town clownies in the cheap seats. I built this house, you built noise, I built proof. Time to raise this roof. Time to expose the hard truth. Now the spotlight stuck on you. Oh, po baby boo. Tick, 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 go. Truth hit the wrong. Stand clear. Tick, go. Funny now, they fear. Tick,